Y'all know what it is. Got a special guest tonight. And we're going to have a little bit of fun. And it's time for some bars. Yo, what do you know? Episode 332, and it's time for the flow. Mars and Leo, but I'ma be okay. It's in my 10th house, so I'm here to just play. Straight from the heart, I'm shooting some woo darts. Lyrically, you know, I'm not no Pop-Tart. It's down under the ground, dirty and grimy. Lyrically, on the microphone, I'm never really slimy. Spit the truth with the chip tooth, sense of youth. Want you to know off the top, 100% proof. It's how I get down, you see. I'm from uptown. The place is called New York City. The gritty attitude with the gleam and the shine. Don't you understand? My mind is just shine bright. Keep it tight. It's a ite. Tonight I got the Queen Bee. Queen's up a ite. This flow, you know, is dedicated. Hip-hop cultural preservationist. This lady is the Astro-Numerology Queen. You know, she gonna break it down easily. Numeralytics. What does that mean? All this stuff we gonna hear from the Queen. She's about to drop 2 books on you and so much knowledge with live readings for you. The brew we are stewing and bringing together. Understand, shining through the weather, rain, sleet, snow, or even hail. She's gonna rocket the illest female. Yeah, Capricorn rising. That's right, you know she's enterprising. She's gonna share numerology keys. And then now I'm about to let you see she can be an MC. And we're gonna back this track so you know she can flow just like that. And these rhymes will just start to spit. I introduce Queen Bee, and she's legit. Get 'em, girl.
Wow. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yo. Oh. Let me wait for that beat to drop. Yeah, it's about to drop. Go back to homeschooling, change the institution. It's no time for losing because it's a movement. I came to show and prove it. My music get you grooving. Put your guns down, black people stop shooting. Start a revolution, always find solutions. Plan for the future. Teach you about the Ku Klux. My wisdom calls a head rush. Be singer, journalist, advance when you learn it. It's my rhymes boost adrenaline. I'm all about the Benjamins, my platform. I hit you with every concept different. I'm all about our history. It's never been a mystery. We more than Egyptian, B. We more than Egyptian, B.
I love that. I love that. Oh,
you
my
pulled
God.
that out of me, Big E. You pulled that out of me.
Listen. I didn't want to put you under pressure, but I want the people to know we got a Queens up here. You guys, welcome to episode 332 of my Knowledge is Love Astrology podcast. Tonight, I got a Leo, and I mean a real Leo. Leo sun, Leo moon, Jupiter, and so much more. I present Astro-Numerologist, upcoming author, writer, MC. She's all about holding down the culture, Philly's finest, Miss Numeralytics herself, Queen Bee. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Wow, thank you, Big E. That was such an exhilarating introduction. I really do appreciate that. I'm very honored and I'm humbled to be on the podcast. Knowledge is love. Knowledge is love. And we got to spread that knowledge.
Right?
Yep, we got to spread that knowledge. We got to spread that love. And that's exactly what we are both actually meant to do on this earth in this lifetime, because we're both life path number 9s. So we're here to spread universal love and be brotherly and humanitarian, excuse me, and be motivational and energetic. So, and organized. So that's what we're here to do. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So you're more than welcome. So tell me, when 2 9s come together, is that an energy to motivate and mobilize the collective?
Yes, when two nines come together like that, two nine life paths. Every time I get with a nine life path, there's an instant spark. There's that instant energy, because we have the same kind of passions. You know, it's like your goals, of everything that you've done through your life have culminated you to this point of where you're at in this nine life path, right? So we all have that universal mindset, and when we want to be brotherly, we want to share our gifts with the world. And we're we're drama artists. We gotta get our artistic side out. So I think a lot of times we run into each other on our life path because we're convergent. It's a convergence.
See, I love that insight and that knowledge. And this is what you get from Queen Bee, you guys. She's got two YouTube channels. She drops a lot of information on numeralytics. And also, is the other one, is it just Queen Bee, or tell them the titles?
So I do have two YouTube channels. You see one, Teller B Media, is my whole platform. But
Okay.
the YouTube channel is called Teller B TV. And that
Ah,
actually
Taylor B.
stands for something. Yeah, that stands for something. That stands for truth aligned, yields love, order, and respect. Black
Woo!
education empowers true vision. And there in BTV, we just bring you a plethora of, like, I call them TV shows because it's a station. So we have different shows on a channel where we just bring you different knowledge, different information, bring you the historical, the current event context. We also bring you, you know, entertainment with the hip hop artists and hip
I
hop
heard I
hour.
heard a rumor that you might have E Complete on that channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna have E Complete coming on the Hip Hop Hour. Probably gonna be the next guest feature, maybe for May or June.
Okay.
And we just dropped the episode last week with Tommy Whispers out of Staten Island, New York,
That
part of
was so
TMF.
dope. I watched
Yeah.
that and I learned so much, not just about him, but his origin
Mhm.
story and connecting with the
Yes.
different members of the Wu and Stapleton.
Yes.
That was a great interview.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we do those types of things. We also have cultural reflections,
Okay.
where we talk to just anybody that's in a community that's doing something positive. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur, it could be an author, or just anything that you're doing that's positive. It's a positive reflection, and we bring those positive reflections to the community.
I
And
love
then
it.
we have our Justice on Earth, where we're talking about history. We're informing people about history and about current events and letting people know the real deal, because we've been programmed, and that's all a part of what numeralytics is about too. It's
Yeah.
about deprogramming us from how we've been programmed in this country through generation through generation. So
Yeah.
we need to reprogram ourselves and get back in tune with our natural, religions. Like, these were looked at as religions, pre-religious era, back
Well,
in
this is the
Chaldea
way
where it
of life,
started.
right? I mean, you're talking about the occult sciences and the
Yes,
esoteric knowledge. You go back to the mystery schools in ancient Kemet and beyond. And
right.
what people don't know is that before you become an astronomer, a scientist, a doctor, or a preacher in that sense, you had to become like really an astrologer first. And
Yes,
so that's what people don't even understand, and even the back with the connections, even with the medical astrology. So, you know, everything is tied in, and people don't understand these planets are really everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. And
yes,
they align the seven traditional planets from Sun to Saturn, right, to our chakras. And the astrology, the zodiac, the constellations connect to our bodies in every way, right? And from head to toe, right? From
from head
Aries,
to
the
toe
head, to
to
Pisces, the feet.
Pisces. Yep,
So that's really
absolutely.
powerful. So we'll, hello to everybody in the chat. Queen Bee's going to get you guys in a minute, but I
Queens
want
and
to.
kings up to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning
I
in. I
love
really
that. That's
appreciate
right.
you.
Kings up and
Yep.
queens up. And tell me how you started that, because I love that, and it really speaks to that Leo moon, right? One thing I'll say, I love the Leo energy. I got Leo sons, and their chart is familiar with yours. Miss Queen Bee, you guys, is a Cap rising with the Leo sun and moon, and she's got a Leo stellium. But Leo women, especially the moon. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Leo women, you guys give the warmest hugs. Have people ever told you
Yes.
you give like great hugs? You're a good hugger.
Good hugger. Everyone loves my smile, all that kind of stuff. Light up the room when I walk in, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But see, with you, it's a little different, right? Because when it's in the eighth house, it can get real serious too, because you
Oh
you
yeah.
want to, your soul has selected to be here to do all that you're doing, right? You want to learn,
Mm,
investigate, but then shine a spotlight on the truth and all the secrets of the world, right?
yes, absolutely, Big E. I mean, you just really you nailed it right there with that.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this, and also you guys, Queen Bee's got the Neptune and Sagittarius, which really can tap you into the dream world. And with that Capricorn rising, I'm sure you probably got a little bit of that, pressure, right? Kind of work hard mantra, workaholicism. But be honest, with that Neptune Sag, not only do I want you to share with us like that kind of dream energy, but don't you feel like if you weren't tied into this complete system and matrix of survival, that really all you want to do is learn and share your wisdom and tap in and travel the world and explore, right?
Absolutely. Obviously that's my dream right now.
I know.
Like you said, if I wasn't trapped into this matrix, that's absolutely what I would be doing.
Yeah.
And also as far as the dreams, I do want to note on that because I do have very prophetic dreams.
Mm,
I have prophetic dreams that will give me clues and symbols of what's going to happen in the physical.
yeah.
I never kind of know when it's going to happen, but when I
Right.
have the dream, when I wake up from those dreams, it's something that tells me that was one of those dreams, and I write down what happened. And I've every time that I've written that down, Big E, I would say probably within the next 2 weeks to a month, sometimes a month and a half's time, that dream unfolds in the physical realm. And it has
Wow.
blown me away. And that started really about a couple years ago for me, actually.
So you know what that is also though too. When you have something like Neptune, like you and Sag in the 12th house, or Uranus, like me and Libra, or for you people that have the Moon or Pluto, you're really tapped in really deeply to the subconscious, but to the spiritual realm and the collective. So you can get a lot of messages from your ancestors, guardian angels, from God, source, creator, all of it, your spirit guides, and planets like Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, they tap you in a big way. So yeah, that's exactly what you're describing can happen. So um, we're going to get you guys in the chat, but I got a quick question. What what are the number keys? What does that mean when you talk about that?
So when I talk about the keys, I like to preface it with this saying, um, and I'll say it to you. How would you feel, Big E, if you had a big interview today? You got all dressed, put on your best clothes. You went to go leave for your interview. You pick up the keys to the car, but they're your wife's keys,
Mm,
and you don't have your wife's car.
mm,
So you're going to be stuck.
yeah.
You're going to have to redirect to try to get yourself to that interview. So you don't have your keys. So I like to talk about it that way because these are your universal keys. They're your personal universal code, and it's based on your date of birth, simply your date of birth.
Wow.
So all of us have a date of birth. We all came to this earth with a date of birth. So whatever that energy is, and I'll just take you for example. You're a Virgo. You're
Yeah.
born September 10th.
Yeah.
So you're a Virgo 1 person. That means you're an Earth sign with a fire number. Okay, that
Ah.
means you're steadfast, pragmatic, grounded, a passionate, proactive doer. Okay, that's your astronumeric descriptor. And with that date of birth, your keys, Big E, would be the number 1, the number 4, and the number 5. Okay, with those keys, your key days are always going to be Sundays and Wednesdays.
Mm.
Okay, and then we can go further, but as far as for the live readings, those are the keys that we're going to be given to the audience. If you want to put your
Yeah, you
month
guys
and day
could
of
put
birth
your birthday down
in
in.
there, we're
So, hey,
also going
can I ask you about that
to.
real quick? That's so
Sure.
powerful in that sense because to just share with you in the audience, I don't mind sharing this. I have no fire in my chart, but that's not kind of really who I am. I'm very much a fiery person. I'm chill, laid back in a lot of ways, very
Mhm.
deep and introspective.
So do you mean in your
Well,
astrology
yeah, my
chart?
astrology, I've got no
Okay.
fire in the chart. But what
Yep. You
you
got it in your numerology chart though.
well, that's what I was gonna say, and that's
Sorry.
kind of
I'm an
that,
interviewer.
no, but but it adds to it and makes so much sense, Queen Bee, because when I finally did start to get deeper and learn astrology more than just a sun sign and become a professional, seems like eons ago, back in like 2016, 2017, when I was studying,
Hmm.
and I realized that I had no fire. For me, you revealing this and understanding that I'm a fire number makes sense, because anyone that knows me, like I embrace life, I attack life, I am the man in the arena. I don't
Hmm.
ever play small, whether I'm doing sports radio, whether I was, acting on stage, whether I was rhyming, anything. I'm always passionate, and I initiate and assert myself. So that would explain that with the fire number, correct?
Absolutely. That explains that. And also, we can even go even deeper than that. You're a number one person. So all of the numbers are their own vibration or their own frequency. And I call this your individual frequency. So my brand of astronumerology is numeralytics. So I have come up with my own, like, glossary and context of how I identify
Just like a life half
the
nine would.
analytics, right? So your individual frequency is a one. So that means, Big E, you're very creative, you're inventive in your work, very ambitious, very ambitious.
Yeah.
You chafe under the slightest restraint. You don't like the restraint. And anything that you undertake, you always seek to rise yourself to the top. You don't, because you don't like to take orders. You don't take orders well. So you always will seek to rise yourself to the top. That's that number one frequency with that fire energy, a doer, a go-getter, very passionate, proactive, very direct and forceful, at times. But then what happens is you have that earth that alters. So, you have the fire and the earth. So they complement each other. And earth and fire are transmutable. So that's
Mm,
not one of the most favorable combinations, but it's like the second most favorable combination
okay.
when you're dealing with fire and
Mm,
dealing with earth. So you can use this, and what I like to call your astronumeric descriptor, which is an earth sign fire number, I like to call that like a stable, passionate, ambitious discipline. All earth sign fire numbers that I know, or fire number earth, fire sign earth numbers, either or, all of those people, when you guys find your niche, there is no stopping you. You have a stable, passionate discipline like no other. So I always tell people with that astronumeric descriptor, go find your niche, find what makes you tick, what you love, because once you tap into that,
yeah.
you're unstoppable. You're pretty much unstoppable with that stable, passionate discipline with that earth and fire.
Thank you. I received that. And the key word there is the discipline, because I am a Capricorn moon.
Hmm.
So I tell people, and I thank all these people here tonight in the chat, and you new people, please make sure you put down your numerology stuff for her. But if you're new to the channel, you can share your Sun Moon Rising, and I'll give you a little reading too. We're going to get to that in a second. But
Great.
I am very humble, right, in the sense that
Hmm.
when I come on live, one person being here, that means a lot to me. Like
Yeah,
really love my people. I tell people I don't know any special algorithms, Queen Bee. All I know is I get it done, and I show up and I work hard. You know what I
you
mean?
do.
And I'm
And
about
you're
service.
consistent. And you're
Yes,
consistent, Big E.
consistent and about service to the collective. Like I tell people, like what you see, like this is Eric. I'm real. Like there's no fake. There's no fugazis. You know what I mean? I'm a straight shooter, native New Yorker. No pork on my fork. You know what I'm saying? I keep it real.
Yes.
So let's get to the chat. Let's see who's here. Say hello to some of the people, and then we'll
Yeah,
get
let's
deeper
say hi.
into. Go ahead.
Let's see. So, let's say hi to the people in the chat.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is let's go over your numeralytics.
Okay.
And then
And then
I'll
we'll
come
get to
back to
everybody
the
else with
chat
some
and do the
questions.
birthday. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's just like give shout. I can't pull them up on the screen, but Abdul Ruiz is on the check-in. Peace and love, Abdul Ruiz. And Alana Taylor, that's your wife. Peace and
Yeah.
love to the queen. Queen's up. And she said, so did you use September 10th? Yes, queen. And numerology, you always use the date of birth. And really, like I was telling Big E before, when we're asking for our information for a reading, it's not as in-depth as the astrologers need. We don't need your time. All we need is your date of birth and your full name at birth. And we also will take the name that you most go by.
Mm.
Okay, so that's what I'll ask for, and that's what I will take from
Does
people
that
when I do
change
a
the
reading.
frequency a lot?
Which one?
Like, if the name you go by is different.
Sometimes, yes.
Okay.
So I did some of your nicknames, so we can get into that when we go over your lyrics.
I'll let you
Um,
say that, but you go, deal with
yeah,
the
but
chat
it
first.
does. And let me tell you, every number that's in your chart or in your scope, so to speak, they're all your numbers. All of it's your energy. You embody all of it, and you can tap into all of it. So that's another beautiful thing about astronumerology. There's different things that we can look at, and there's different numbers that are assigned to you for different reasons. And they all have, all the numbers mean the same. The meanings don't change, but
Okay.
where they show up on your chart may mean a slightly different thing here and there.
Okay.
So yes, Alana, to answer your question, it was September 10th. Yep, and that's how we got to the one person. So just to let you guys know, with individual frequency, the all that is the day you were born. So I was born on August 20th. My individual frequency is a 2. Big E was born on September 10th. His individual frequency is a 1. Miss Alana was born on February 26th. Her individual frequency is a 8. Okay, so that's all individual frequency means. It's your individual frequency the day you were born. That's one of the most important numbers in numerology, because it's your immediate personality. It's everything that's immediate about you, the things that you're going to attract, your health, your romance, all that kind of stuff,
Can I ask you
depends
a
on your
quick
frequency.
question before you? I want you to read more comments in the chat, but quick question.
Mhm.
Because we're life path nines and it's a universal 9 year, is this like a really beneficial year for us?
So yeah, since we're life path nines and it's a 9 universal year, there is some significance there for us. And what I would say for us, it's for us to take whatever we're doing to the next level. Hopefully it was something that we've manifested throughout our 1 through 9 cycle.
Yes.
And in this 9 year, as for me, like me in this 9 universal year, I'm manifesting everything that I started with BTV, because I started BTV actually in the last 9 universal year, which is my one personal year, which we'll get into the personal energy.
Okay.
And I'm also going to be, so I'm going to be giving the audience their individual frequency, their keys, and their personal year factor, which determines their personal energy in association with the universal energy. So that
Oh,
those are the things that we're going to be discussing. But yeah, I mean, and
fun.
it's like I said, it's to take that thing to the next level, take it to the universal level, and just really upscale it to that universal level.
Okay. Okay.
But that's not one of the most important associations with that. One of the more important ones is your number. So, and I'll double down, because you are also a personal year factor 1, just like me. That
Mhm.
means you're in a 1 personal year. So, when you're in the personal year of the number that you're in, that's what's more significant.
Okay. So
So
the number
that,
1 year is more
yeah,
important than it being a
and
nine
then you being a
universal
life
year
path 9.
and a nine
Yes,
life. Okay. Okay.
absolutely. Your that's why I said your individual frequency is the most important number. So you being a 1, all your 1 personal years, your 1 personal months, your 1 personal days, those are all your significant days.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. You know.
So I'll read some comments. Hello everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm excited about the show. That's wifey. White Island Surf said they're a Life Path 9. Welcome to the
To
Life
the
Path
nine
9.
family. Welcome to
Welcome to
the
the
show.
convergence.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're new. Okay.
Yep. Welcome to the convergence. Queen TK, Queen's up. Queen to you. Hi, it's Big T, aka it's Star Baby. What's
Oh,
up,
what up, Star
Star
Baby?
Baby? Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Welcome.
Star Baby. All right. Black Coffee said Cheryl Dean. Oh, she's giving her name, Cheryl Dean Carroll. Okay. We'll get back to your birthday, Black Coffee, because I want to do Big E's lyrics before we do the birthdays.
Okay.
Everyone's going to check in. Abdul Ruiz, Deborah Lucas Jackson,
Hey.
Queen D. Peace, Queen D. I know that name.
Okay. Hey,
Peace and love.
Queen.
Queens up to
Okay.
you.
Welcome, you
Yeah.
guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button. We want to blow this episode up, and please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you guys coming. And if you come back, but if we don't have time tonight, because I really want Queen Bee to do her thing for you guys, but you can always come back if you're new and share your sun, moon, rising, and I just break down a quick little free reading for you based on that. Okay. So, okay. So, do you want to start with me, and then we'll get back to the
Yeah.
people and start doing their readings?
Let's do that. Let's start with you. Let's get your lytics done because I want to go over these lytics with you real quick and give you some of your energy. Um, can you? I have it shared in here. Can you add it to the screen? That's the only
Oh,
thing I
yes,
can't
yes,
see
yes.
right
Hold on.
now.
Let me
And then
did
let
you
me
click
see if I
the
hold
share?
on. Hold on. Let
You have
me
yeah, you got to just click the share and then I can pull it up.
hold on.
It's down on
Hold
the
on.
bottom in the center. And if you click that, then it will pop up and then I can accept it.
Okay. Do you want the whole? Can I share just this? I can share just the screen, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. You just
Okay.
have to click the screen share. It's down in the bottom in the middle below our
Okay.
faces.
Here it
And
comes. All right. It's on the left-hand panel now. Can you see it? It's in here. It should be in here now.
yep. There we go.
You got it?
Yeah, it's up.
All right, thank you so much. So, you guys, obviously, I'm Taylor B. I'm an astronumerologist. That's my moon line, 302-492-7722. You can always text me there if you want to get a reading. You can hit me up on Instagram or TikTok and follow me on YouTube at Numeralytics. Info at imtellerb.com is my email, and my website is numeralytics.biz, where you can check me out a little more and look at some of the other things that I have to offer. So this is Big E. So this is a keys chart. This is one of the main things that I do at Astro-Numerology. I do a keys chart. Now this chart comes with this chart. It's a mobile chart. It can also be printed out. And it also comes with a full reading. This chart comes with, now I'm not going to obviously do the full reading tonight because
Yeah.
we don't have time, but this comes with a full 4 to 5, just so you know, it comes with a full 4 to 5 page reading.
Wow.
So it's very thorough, it's very in-depth, and it's going to give you everything that you need to know about your energy, how to balance the energy that you possess astronumerically, and the best things that you need to do, for what you need to do when you need to do them. So just to go over the chart, we see the name is at top, Eric Taylor. He's born September 10th, 1970. That's the sixth house of Virgo. That makes him a Virgo one person. And then we see his Virgo constellation here on the left-hand side. And then down below, this is his astronumeric description. That's that earth sign fire number that you heard me talking to him about.
Mm.
That he's a steadfast, pragmatic, proactive, passionate, stable, ambitious doer. Okay. So that's his astronumeric descriptor. And then he's an individual frequency 1, right? So because that 10 equals a 1. 1 plus 0 is 10. That means Eric is very creative, positive, direct. He's definite in his views. He's inventive. He's passionate. He rises to the top in anything that he undertakes. And he does gain and garner the respect of those around him as a number one person. Okay. And his key numbers, therefore, are the 1, 4, and 5. That means his key dates are all dates that add up to a 1, 4, or 5. So you see
Mm.
that one, that first, the 10th, 19th, or the 28th, the 4th, the 13th, 22nd, 31st, or the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd. These are all dates that I would have Eric make all of his important investments on, his important interviews, all of his important things that he wants to do, his manifestations, his shows, dropping his albums. These are the dates that I would have him do these things on, and these are the
Now,
dates
quick
that I.
question about that.
Mhm.
Would out of those three numbers and those dates, would I lean towards one more than the other?
Always your number one.
Okay, so the one first.
Always your individual frequency. Yes.
Okay, just yeah.
Always your
That would
individual
be
frequency.
anything on the first, the 10th, or
The
the
19th or the 28th
19th,
of the month.
or the
And
28th of
that's
the
of
month.
any month. But you also do have key months, which we'll go over, period.
Okay, okay,
Which we'll go over later. You have key periods.
okay.
But yes, but honestly, all of these dates are good dates for you to tap into. And when you do get with an astronumerologist like myself or any of the others that are out there,
Yeah.
they will also tell you, more significant things that you can use the significant dates for. So
Mm,
that's going to be a part of a further descriptive reading that you would get.
okay.
Okay.
And this is what
All
people
right.
get when they book with you, right?
That's correct.
All right,
That
you
is correct.
guys, you better hit her up.
Okay. And then your key days, Eric, are always Sunday and Wednesday. And I would always give you minorly a Tuesday. Tuesdays aren't terrible for you. Because that's
Wh- Which
Tuesdays
way?
are
And I'll
represented
just
by
say,
Mars.
and I was going to
Yeah.
say that just makes sense because of the Mars, because I am a
Yeah.
Scorpio rising. So Mars is my chart ruler. So I
Yep.
feel the vibration of Tuesdays.
So Tuesdays do vibrate with you, not only because you're a life path 9, and not only because of what you just said about your chart, but also because when I did a lot of stuff with your chart, you are very connected to the 9, Eric.
Mm,
You have a very strong connection with the 1 and the 9, I'll say.
yeah.
And all that tells me is that you're a leader. You should always work for yourself. You don't take orders well from others. You're very confident. You have good self-confidence and a good opinion of yourself, as you should. You're very artistic, creative. So you are very connected to those 1s and 9s. So I
Mm,
did notice that throughout your chart. And then so your key days, like I said, those Sundays and Wednesdays, and a minor way Tuesday. And
okay.
then your key colors for your number 1 is going to be golds, bronzes, yellows, and golden browns. Now, this is all in conjunction with your individual frequency. Okay.
Yep.
Your key crystals are going to be the yellow diamond or amber or topaz or anything with that amber color.
Mm,
Any crystals with that amber color, key crystals for you as a number 1. And your key periods are always August, September, June, and February. Okay.
ah.
And your life path 27-9. So again, humanitarian, organizer, motivator. And you're a personal year factor 19-1. And I call that the cosmic trailblazer. And I'll get into that later. I'm also a personal year factor 1. Alana is also a personal year factor 1. So
Wow.
I'll get into what that means. And it's really just a factor in your lytics that allow you to easily calculate your personal energy cycles. And not
Mm.
only that, once you calculate it, you will always know your cycle. Like the cycles don't change. So every time it's a 9 universal year, Eric, me, and Alana are always in a 1 personal year.
Oh, so
Same when
anytime it's a 9, we're in a 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Anytime there's a 9 universal, you're in a 1 personal. And we'll get into that. And then at the bottom is your name. So your name that you know that you're known by in Chaldean, and this is in the Chaldean system, which is the more mystic system of numerology, is an 11. Of course, that's a master number. So I believe that you probably get spiritual downloads
I
from the
do.
spiritual realm.
And
I'm
and
sure
and it
you do because your 11 is very strong, Big E. You got
well,
it in your
I didn't
name.
know that. And to confirm what you're saying, like for an
Oops.
example, I dreamt about my wife before I met her. I dreamt about 9/11 2 years before it happened. So yeah, that aligns
Yeah.
totally with me. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get the spiritual downloads through that being your. So the 11 is funny with you because the 11s are throughout your chart also. And so your name is an 11 in Chaldean that you're known by. That's the whole Eric Taylor. Because the first name Eric is an 11 and the last name Taylor is a 9 in Chaldean.
Wow.
Okay, so that equals an 11. And then your key name, which is your active name, which is just your first name, Eric, is an 11. So you got double 11s there. So I definitely think that you get spiritual downloads, and you're here to be universal. You're here to be humanitarian and share the beauties that you've known and experienced. You're here to share them and light the world with those. That's what that 11 energy tells me with you.
Wow.
So you let
That-
me know how you thought that was. And then
Definitely.
of course, the Mercury and the Sun are here. The Sun represents your number 1. Okay, these are your astronumeric planets here. So I know so there is the correspondence with astrology, and I know you're a master astrologist.
Yep.
But so just so you know, the 1 correlates with the Sun, so that's why you have the Sun here on the right.
Yep.
And then Mercury is the period that you were born in. Okay, so that's the period that you're Virgo. Okay,
Mm.
so that's why Mercury is here. So these are your 2 major planets when we're talking about you astronumerically.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, any questions, or do
No, it's
anything you
funny.
want
I
me to?
relate to that because I'm very passionate and I would say, very mercurial and heavy mental. You
Yes,
know
you
what I
are.
mean? So for
Mm-hmm.
me, I always love to look deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And language is extremely important to me. This is why some people would call me like a hip hop purist or hip hop snob because I don't respect people with ignorant, stupid rhymes. I can't take trap and mumble crap rap, none of that stuff. I was
Right.
raised on Spoonie G, Rakim, Karis One, Slick Rick, So to me, if you do not come with real insight and knowledge, then you won't get me mentally or as a fan. Like I can't do it. So that's why also
Absolutely.
now with the young folks, I resonate with like Kendrick or J. Cole because they're spitting, intelligence and knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you 1,000% on that,
Yeah.
King. And I can see that through your chart, and I really see that too through your vital few and your name. You got
Mm.
like I said, a lot of 1 and 9 energy, so you have a low tolerance for things.
No, no tolerance
That.
at all for foolishness.
Yeah, yeah. So I definitely see that in your number. So let's go on to the next screen. So the next screen just talks a little bit, reinforces a little bit about what we just went through. So I won't go through this. The
Okay.
only difference that I put on this screen is your life cycles, Big E, which we have 3 major life cycles that we go through in our time here on Earth. Now we have plenty of cycles, so different cycles mean different things, but these are your 3 major cycles on your life path. So the way that we determine those is by your month of birth, your day of birth, and your year of birth. So you were born in September, so that's your 9 is your first life cycle. So from 1 to 28 to about that Saturn return,
Yeah.
your life cycle was dominated by the 9.
Okay.
And then from 28 to 56, those your productive years. Your life cycle is dominated by the 1. And then from 56 on to your harvest, your life cycle will be dominated by the number 8. Okay.
Oh,
So
really?
I wanted to give you your cycles. And what really that means is a life path cycle. 9 is a 1, is the toughest cycle to have as a first cycle because it's the highest number. 9 is so
Oh, so is that why
universal.
the first 28 years was so tough for me?
Yeah, they were so tough for you, and you probably started to step out on your own maybe around your 18th or 19th birthday, maybe. You probably stepped out on your own, you were living on your own even.
No, I mean,
But
just
yeah.
away at college. But
Uh-huh.
after college, I went back to New York City. My mother got breast cancer, so I decided to become a professional actor in New York. And then I was helping her out a lot. So I was, still kind of like close to home, had a little tiny studio apartment, but, very still connected to my mother.
Hmm.
And I actually wound up taking care of her about 20 years because she had breast
Wow, that's
cancer in
amazing.
95 and then '04 had brain cancer.
That's amazing. And that's a tribute to you and the person that you are. To
Yeah.
make sure that your mother was okay and to be there for her in her time of need. So that's a tribute to you. And
Thank Well, a
you
lot of
know,
just so you guys know for the audience, a lot of Capricorn moons can feel like, you weren't, mom wasn't so warm and fuzzy and you didn't feel like you maybe were loved enough. Doesn't mean you had a bad mom or terrible. She was just, strict. My mom was very fair. She wasn't mean. She was strict in a sense. But a lot of Capricorn moons later in life, the relationship gets better, but you will most likely wind up taking care of your mother in some capacity if you have a Capricorn moon. So,
right.
little knowledge for the people.
Great. I love that. So yeah, so I'll go off of this page because this is just kind of giving a little backup of what we just went through and giving a little breakdown further of what your
So
lytics
that
are.
eight now, but that final cycle, the 8, I'll be there in a couple of years. I guess
Yep.
it's 2 more years or whatever. So what does that 8 cycle mean?
So 8 cycle as a last cycle is favorable. Because 8 is a number of material wealth, power, kind of harvest, reaping what you sown. So what
Yeah.
happens as an 8 in the last cycle? So I'm sure you'll be fine because whatever
And
work
say,
that
are
you
you trying
put,
to tell me that the bag is coming my way?
yeah, the bag's coming your way, and you know why? Because you put the work in. So
Yes.
whatever work that you've put in over your first 2 cycles, in that 8 cycle, if you prepared and you put that work in, you're gonna reap the rewards of that harvest in that 8 cycle
Amen.
as a last cycle. Yep.
I received that.
And it's also it's a financial cycle. So it's a power cycle, financial and romantic. So
Ah,
those are the 2 things that are going to be ruling the ending harvest years for you there.
I love that.
I wouldn't turn that down.
Hey, listen.
You know what? I also have an 8 as a last cycle too.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm
And
sure my
that
wife
really,
my wife will reap the benefits of that.
yeah. And you know what I also say about those people that have an 8 as a life cycle, as the last life cycle, because that just means they were born in an 8 universal year. So to me, we were here to be to create a legacy. I believe that we born in 8 universal years. We were sent here to create a legacy, and to put in the work and to reap the harvest of the hard work that we put in. So I
Ah,
think that's oftentimes that's our reward.
okay.
So that's just a tidbit. And then I just wanted to show a little bit about your frequency and to show people, everything that we do at Numeralytics too is really deeply rooted in the 7 Hermetic principles, the universal laws. So everything that I even went over on the keys chart, all of it touches one of the universal laws.
Mm.
Um, and then this one's no different. This is the individual frequency one. We all have positive and then negative of the number, right? So, are you living on the top side of your numbers? Or are you living on the negative side of your numbers? So for big E, for individual frequency one, that positive side is creative, they're original, independent, courageous, progressive, ambitious, positive. They have great willpower. They're leaders, pioneers. They're active and forceful. So those are their positive attributes. Those are their positive vibrations. When they're being negative, when number ones are living on the low side of their numbers, um, that it can often manifest as laziness, imitation, dependence, overly dependent on others, being selfish, unstable, egotistic, weakness, fear, being braggadocious, stubborn, tyrannical, antagonistic, a bullier, over competitive. And that's why when you come to me, I always encourage everyone to live on the top side of their numbers, because,
Hey, there's times I will admit there's times where I've definitely been especially when I was younger, and some of
mhm,
these, not all of them,
but some of them, yeah,
but
and
yeah,
that's the way
definitely
it is
some,
because we're human. None of
yeah,
us are going to always live on the top side.
yeah,
We're going to embody some of the negative attributes sometimes, but it's good when you have the knowledge because you can recognize when you're being that way, and then you can take steps and make
exactly,
actions to change it.
and you do
Yeah.
the work to change it, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yep, I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now let's get into personal year factor. This is a numeralytic special. You won't find anyone else really talking about a personal year factor this way. This is something that I,
Ah, this is just a
put
Queen
together.
Bee special. I love
This
it.
is a Queen Bee. Yep. This is a Queen Bee Universal Life Path 9 special. Um, so it's personal year factor. It's the factor that determines your personal cycle energy in relation to the universal cycle energy. Okay. So personal year factor determines your permanent personal cycle of your personal year, your personal month, and your personal day. So we used Big E. He's our example. So Big E again was born on 9/10. So when we add those together, we get a 19. And then when we reduce that to a base number, we get a number one. That tells me that Big E is a personal year factor one, just like me. So with the personal year factor one, this chart that you see below is always his cycle in relation to the universal cycle, always and forever, from cradle to the grave. So we're in a 9 universal year. Big E's in a 1 universal year right now.
Okay. So that means
Okay.
next year, after my
Next,
birthday, I'll be in a 2?
yes, next year it's going to be a 1 universal year, and you're going to be in a 2 personal year. Same for
So,
me.
but this is the question, does it switch on September 10th or January 1st?
So this is up to whoever is the Astro-Numerologist. If you're
Okay.
speaking to me, myself, and a few others, we say it switches on January 1st. Some people say it switches on September 10th. And most of the people that say that it switches on September 10th are people who are doing corresponding occult sciences, such as cardology and different things like that, that those spreads with the cardology line up from the birthday to the birthday personal year.
Okay.
But my school of thought and the way that I was taught, it is from January 1st.
Okay, so this is actually just still new for me because we just had January, like, not a couple of months ago.
So when January 1st hit, we entered a 9 universal year,
Exactly, yeah.
and you entered a 1 personal year. So from
So
January
next
to up,
January, okay, yeah,
yeah,
next
so up to now, you're in a 1 personal year. So now next January,
I'll be in
when
a
we
2.
get to, yep, when we get to January 1st, it'll be a 1 universal year, and you'll be in a 2 personal year.
So the difference, real quick. So with the 2, would that make me more introspective and more creative?
So with the personal year energy, all personal year energies from 1 to 9 come with they come with their own perspective.
Right.
So for a personal year too, it's a little slow, yes.
Okay.
In a one personal year, it's a year for you to step out on your own, really do the things that you want to do. Not really, you got to put yourself first in a one personal year, plant your seeds that you want to cultivate for the next cycle that you're embarking on from 1 to 9.
Yep.
And then what happens in that 2 personal year, those seeds you planted, now you're germinating those seeds in that 2 personal year. So things are
Ah,
going to move slow for you next year, same as me. They're going to move a little slow for us in our 2 personal year. The things that we planted this year, we're going to have to make small movements with them and do analytical things with them, with those projects
right.
to just make sure we got all the fine details looked at. Fine tune things here and there. There may be slow movement, slow action. Two is also a relationship cycle year. So it's going to be a lot of teamwork and companionship that you'll probably embark on in the 2 personal year, collaborations and different things like that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
okay, yep, each
Makes sense.
cycle has its own.
Okay.
So this is what you'll always be enduring, Big E. So this is important because now once you have this, now you can really plan your day, your month, or your year. You can plan the whole thing and you can plan it out for your high tides and your low tides. All these cycles come with a tide. It comes with a universal in or a universal out tide.
This is
Um,
incredible. So you guys need to reach out, and so you'll email all this to me, right?
Absolutely, you're going to get this because this is your lytics breakdown.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I just wanted you to have this, and just to let you know, Big E, today is a 6 universal day. So me, you, and Alana are all having a 7 personal day today.
Ah.
Okay. So, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Look, I'm giving away your presentation.
Yeah.
So, did you see? So 6 and 7, right? And another thing with that you can look at it as, we're always one we're always one cycle ahead of the universal cycle as a personal year factor 1, and then so on and so forth. And then when you get to the personal year factor 9, you're in lockstep with the universal cycle.
Oh.
And those people are very special people. I call them the cosmic transformationists. So a lot goes into this personal year factor. Also, what your 19 being the main factor that it adds up to for you, that tells me, like I said, you're very connected to those 1s and 9s. So here we see it showing up in your chart again. Um, and with that 19, that tells me that, through your personal cycles, you have esteem. 19 is a favorable card. It's called the Prince of Heaven in the tarot deck.
Hmm.
It's considered favorable and extremely fortunate, denoting money, success, and esteem. So through your cycle, you should always look to be creative, inventive, and be a leader in everything you do, to attract that money and that esteem through your 19-1. Okay.
Okay. All
All
right.
right. And they're still cutting the grass here.
That's all
So
right. We
let's
don't
get
care.
into your name. So on this screen, I did your name in both systems of numerology. So there's 2 systems that we work with mainly, primarily here. And this one is the Pythagorean system. And this is the more modern system of numerology. It's the easier system to kind of work with. This is a system that you would look at your full name at birth
Right.
to get what your karmic lessons were, what your skills, talents, and abilities are. Your name is also here. It's the teacher. So it's supposed to have the tools that you need for the lesson that you need to learn from your life path. So a lot of things go into the name, right?
Yeah.
And it really tells you, your basic approach and all of that. So for you, your first name, Eric, in the Pythagorean adds up to a 26-8. And what's so interesting about that is, as a 26-8, 8 is ruled by Capricorn and ruled by Saturn. And we know your wife was born on the 8th. So, this is interesting because you would attract people born on the 8th. You would
Ah.
attract anyone that's a Capricorn, a Libra, or a Taurus, or anyone born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month. And I know
And
your wife
she's
was
on a
born.
26, and she's a Taurus rising. Bingo.
Wow. Bing bong.
And
Bing bong.
we had to soul contracts, and we're soulmates. So that's actually
Bing
really
bong.
yeah.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
So this is interesting. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then you have your middle name, William, which adds up to a 7. And then your last name, Taylor and Pythagorean, adds up to a 28-1. So there you go, seeing that one again. So I'm not going to go too deep into all of those. I'll just
Yeah.
go into the full name expression and stuff because I know we're getting short on time. Um, but your full name expression here in Pythagorean is the 7, big E, and that doesn't surprise me because with that 7, that means, first of all, you're kind of private, you're analytical thinking, you're a researcher, you're intuitive, reflective. Generally, these people are occultists, they're astronomers, astrologers, like what you are, you're spiritualists.
Wow.
You guys are writers, scientists, you're an authority on something,
Yeah.
these number 7 expressions. And also, you have a great understanding of theories and fundamentals. You have an easier understanding of those things
Wow.
as that expression 7. And then your name that you're known by in Pythagorean, which is your Eric Taylor, adds up to that 9. So there you go again with your 9 energy, sir. And that's fire energy again. So you're expressing fire energy. So it makes sense that you said you feel those things about you, even though you don't have fire in your astrological chart. This is why numerology matters, and this is why numbers matter, which is my podcast that you guys all in the audience should tune into.
Wow. And you know, that's so powerful because you know, my second album, True Speaker, I actually did a
Hmm.
song called Numbers, and my father, his first name was William, and I named my firstborn William, my second son. And you I know my father knew numbers, so I wonder if he, if he kind of chose, he was an Aries, he was a pioneer, so he may have even chosen this type of stuff, knowing some of this.
Yeah, your dad was something else. He was a fire sign. He was a Aries, March 25th, right?
Yeah, it's March 25th. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fire sign water number.
Okay.
So he's like me, fire sign water number. That's that passion, proactive, passionate, intuitive, receptive analyzer. That's his
Uh,
astro-numeric descriptor for your dad.
yeah, and a
Um,
Scorpio moon.
wow.
Yeah, so he was
Yeah,
very intuitive. He was very much an
very
empath,
intuitive
and
and very
he
probably,
knew
had a serious demeanor.
very serious and knew his
Yeah.
numbers. And
Mm-hmm.
he was very strong, like leader in a community in Harlem, but he was very much the type of person where, he every Thanksgiving and Christmas he would, donate turkeys and hams and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But he had a lot of respect for women in the sense that a gentleman I met one time told me that my father had lent him $10,000 and he had paid him back or whatever. He started his own business, but he said one time they were out in the street and some guy had cursed in front of a woman. And he said, my father had smacked him in his mouth and said, don't ever curse in front of a lady. You
Oh,
okay?
wow.
That's the type of man my dad
I can
was.
see him doing that. That's that. I can see him
Yeah.
doing that. That's that fire sign. He don't play.
Yeah. He
And
did
let me
not
tell you
play
something
that.
about those fire sign water numbers, because that's what I am too. So those people have they're like steam. You know how like steam
Oh, yeah.
boils and it gets hot, then it explodes.
Yeah.
That's how I like to talk about the fire sign water numbers. They're that steam that gets hot and they will explode on you. So you got to be careful around those people, and they're very passionate, very
Yeah.
emotional, passionate people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, enough
these
about me. Let's get to the audience.
Yeah,
Enough.
let's get to the audience. And really quick, let me just, I know it's enough about you, but I do want to show you this because this is important.
Okay.
So this is a part of numerologics, and these are your name lytics for your Pythagorean name. So your vital few from your name that's your ruling passion are the 9 and the 3. That tells me you're very strong-willed, self-determined with a good opinion of itself. You like to be the master of your own fate. Also, you're very talkative, popular, self-expressive, and social. You're almost like a hobnobber, very good with social networking and different things like that. These are your strengths in your name, Eric. So you are the eternal artist. Okay.
Definitely. And I'm very talkative, but I will tell you, I think with the Virgo Sun and Mercury, I can dominate a house party and take over, but I need to feel like sort of comfortable and safe first. And
Mm-hmm.
then once I feel like everything's cool, I read the room, I analyze and assess. That's why I sometimes I don't envy, but like I respect the Gemini energy so much because it's different from the Virgo. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
Virgo's more introspective, where the Gemini jumps in and they're just like boom, and I see that and it's really cool. So okay, so you're done with the screen share.
Yeah, we're done with the screen share. I took it down. So I hope that that resonated with you.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it did. It did. So yeah, I just want to make sure the audio, yeah, because we're back up, but I want to make sure they can all see us. And so yeah, let's get to you guys. Put your birth dates and let's get to some of the people because, and thank you for doing this. And I volunteered and wanted to really show what Queen Bee does, you guys. And so I encourage you to book a reading with her because, you know, she could have even gotten deeper. So I want
yes.
you to know that when you do a reading with her, she gets super duper deep and it's so beneficial. You know what I mean? And even just knowing those dates and how to kind of maneuver in the years and the months, that is super beneficial for everybody in the collective. So definitely reach out to Numerologics and Queen Bee. And I love how you do that factor, the key factor, and all that stuff. That's really powerful.
Personal year factor.
Personal year factor. I love it. And that really speaks to you being, like you said, with me and you, the cosmic trailblazer, and being sort
Yes.
of like, this independent, innovative spirit in terms of doing something that's kind of a little unique from other astronumerologists. So kudos to you, my friend.
Thank you so much, Big E. I do appreciate that. So
Yeah.
let's get to the chat. Let's
All
let's
right.
see what's
Go
going
ahead,
on in
Pete,
the
you guys. Give her your
okay.
birthday, and so she can just break it down. So
So
just
I see
say their name, and then their information, and then just break them down real quick for them.
okay, I'm looking through here. I see a few comments. I'm looking for some birthdays. I see we're the real deal. People are saying Queens up.
Yeah.
What a way to start a show. Alana said
Right.
that y'all better do it. Hi, hi. We're on the birthday. Okay, here goes a birthday. Finally, we found a birthday. So here is Deborah Lucas Jackson. And her birthday is May 2nd. Happy birthday coming up on Friday, ma'am.
Oh, Taurus.
Taurus.
My
Yep,
mother was a Taurus. I love the Taurus people.
She's a Taurus 2 person. Deborah, your personal year factor is a 7. That tells me that right now you're in a 7 personal year. 7 personal years are a way out cycle. They're introspective, they're sabbatical cycles. You should be looking inward, you should be reflecting and perfecting. You should be observing, not absorbing. And just reflect for yourself and manifest the things that you want. The things that you get in this cycle aren't meant for your immediate use. They're meant to come to you maybe as spiritual downloads or as information that you gather that you're supposed to use at a later time, perhaps next year in your 8 personal year when you're in your bounce back year. So things that come to you in a 7 energy aren't for immediate use. Okay, so that's the energy that you're in right now. With that May 2nd, you're a Taurus 2 person. That makes you an earth sign with the water number. That's a favorable combination for growth. I would always tell people with this astronumeric descriptor to make sure that they have a project that they're working on, something that they can do to keep themselves busy and keep themselves growing and learning and
Would she
experiencing.
also be very intuitive?
She would be, I was going to get to that just now. She would be very, very intuitive
Yeah.
because her key numbers are the 2, 7, and 6, which are actually called the psychic numbers. And
Yeah.
that means that her key days are always going to be on a Monday and a Friday in that order. And as far as, and I'll give her a bonus for her key colors as that 2 person, all shades of greens, creams, and whites are your key colors.
And Deborah, that means it's the moon day and the Venus day, and that
Yes.
aligns with your Taurus energy. The moon's exalted in Taurus and at home in Venus. And definitely hit me up for the Taurus birth chart sale, Eric at BigEAstro.com. This is your time, Deborah. Go do it, lady.
Go do it, Deborah. Go do it. And then so let's get to another birthday. Who is it? Ahmad. Ahmad's birthday is March 19th. And that means that they are a personal year factor 22-4.
Wow.
Okay, that tells me that you're in a 4 personal year. So that tells me, Ahmad, anything that you started a few years ago back in your 1 personal year, this is the year kind of a restriction. It's kind of a time for you to sit back and look at that thing that you started, get everything in order, get a schedule, get organized, get structured. And it's also the year to work. Fours is a year of hard work. So you're going to have to put the work in this year. And as long as you put the work in and you stay structured and ordered, it don't, you don't want to be borrowing a lot of money this year. You just want to always pay yourself first and stick to yourself and stick to your work. you're going to be fine. And in that way, next year, when you get to your 5 personal year, you'll have a reward. You'll be able to party it up a little bit. And again, so March 19th, you
Well,
are
let me tell him too. He's probably 29 degrees Pisces, and he's very close to that 0 degrees. So anybody born in that energy, that's the cusp of rebirth. So he's very, very powerful. He's someone who's spiritual and intuitive, but he wants to really implement the spiritual boundaries right now and spiritual discipline. No days off, Ahmad, 7 days a week. Even if you just do 3 to 5 minutes and build it up to 30 minutes to an hour, you want to increase your spiritual practice and discipline, because you're gonna shine next year too. All
yeah,
right. So
you're going to shine next year.
yeah,
And not only that, with your March 19th, you are right there on the cusp, but I would think that you would be a Pisces still.
yeah, like 29,
Um,
probably 28, 29 degrees, depending on
Yeah,
the
he's right
year.
there on the cusp, but
Yeah.
I think I would give him a Pisces. So he is a water sign with a fire number. So again, that's those are transmutable astronumeric descriptors. That is, emotional, sensitive, receptive with that passionate, proactive, ambitious doing spirit. Okay, so always your key days are going to be the 1, 4, and 3. That means your best days are always going to be on a Sunday and a Thursday. And
Mm.
for you, again, as a number 1, your key colors are all golds, yellows, and bronze.
Okay, we got the same colors, my brother.
That's right. Y'all both number 1 people.
Yeah,
And that's the beauty of numerology. The frequencies they don't change.
I
1 through
love
9. 1 through 9.
that. All right, who's
So
next?
let's get to Kalia or
Oh
Kim
yeah,
Kalia.
Kim. She's good people. Yep.
She's good people. She's
Yeah.
good people. I can tell because she's a Leo. So I can tell that she's good people because I love my Leos. I love my Leos, right? So Kim, you're actually, let me see, are you in an 11? I believe you're an 11 universal year. So sometimes you do get to where you are an 11 universal year instead of the 2. And when you get to an 11 universal year, those are very special years. Because unlike the 2 where you're kind of waiting and it's kind of germinating slowly and all of that, when you're an 11 personal year, it's abstract impressions, you're getting revelations, you're getting spiritual awakenings, downloads. You get a deeper sense of your mission, of your purpose in life this year. You're going to be more inspired and take more an initiative to be helping others, like lighting the way for other people. So that's all that 11 personal year energy. You're going to get ideas and hunches. Those are going to be coming with lightning speed. So you want to just make sure that you hone in on those things. I would tell you, let me see, you're a Leo 4. So you are a fire sign with an air number. Again, that's a very favorable astronumeric description.
Mm.
That is, favorable combustible energy. Um, so, you got that passionate, proactive, logical, methodical thinker. That is your astronumeric descriptor. So all of those logical, methodical thoughts that you have, put them into action with that fire energy that you have. And that's why that's such a great combination. And for you, your key days are always going to be the 4. Let me see, you are July 31st. So that is the 4, 1, 2, and 7.
Mm.
Okay. So your best days are always going to be on a Sunday and a Monday.
Wow.
Okay. And let's get to the next person.
Isn't she brilliant, you guys? This is why I have her on. She's gonna be a staple, because we could do this like every couple of months, man. I love
Big
this.
E, we got so much we could do and different things that we could do.
Well,
So,
I
of
already
course,
told the
anytime.
audience, and for you guys that weren't here, listen. She's an Eagles fan. I'm a Steelers fan, even though I'm a native New Yorker. My second team is the Jets. She's going to come back at the beginning of the NFL season before that Thursday kickoff, probably that Tuesday or Wednesday. And what we're going to do is look at sort of the astrology and numerology. I'm, a little bit deeper because I did sports radio, so I'm a real sports nut. She likes her Eagles and football, but
Look, he does sports radio. I listen to sports radio.
exactly. So we're gonna give you like a little NFL preview. So if you even like a little bit of sports, but just the astrology numerology, it's something fun to dive in and to learn. So come back early September. We'll do stuff before then on her channel and otherwise, but She's coming back that first week of September before the NFL kickoff, and we're gonna kick it off. So you want to come back for that, you guys? Okay?
Definitely want to be back for that.
Yeah,
Definitely. And I'm looking forward to that.
yeah. It's gonna
Because
be
I
fun.
love combining those two things.
Oh, it's great.
So let's get to the next person. So stoked culture looks like the
Oh
next
yeah, Stoke Coach is
person.
the regular. Yeah.
That's a regular. So let me tell you what's so interesting about this person. So their birthday is November 25th. So they're a
Ooh.
Sagittarius
Wait, I didn't
7
know that,
person.
Stoke Culture. That was my grandfather's birthday.
Wow.
My
So
mom's
let me
dad. Wow.
so let me tell you about this. So that's a Sagittarius 7. So again, that is a fire sign with the water number. So there we again have that passionate, proactive, direct, intuitive, receptive, analytical energy with this
Right.
person. One thing about this person's stoke culture that I love about you, you are the cosmic transformationist personal year factor. Your personal year factor is a 36-9. That means you are in lockstep with the universe, my dear. So whatever is going on in the universe is going on with you, stoked culture. So like how we're
Wow.
in a 9 universal year, you're in a 9 personal year. We're in a 6 universal day, you're having a 6 personal day. You're in lockstep with the universe. You need to always live on the top side of your number, live on the top side of your 7, also because 7s can worry a lot. So please stop worrying about things that you can't affect. You
What does
can't
that
do
mean when you say
anything.
the top side, like the positive,
Yeah,
high
the
vibration?
positive,
Okay, okay,
the
cool.
high vibration.
Yeah.
Yes, living on the top side of the number. Um, so
She's
with that,
probably really funny because my grandfather, great storyteller.
Sagittarius are funny.
Oh yeah, no, they are very funny. They
Yeah.
are a little bit exaggerators though.
He
I listen
said
as a
that, not me, y'all.
no, no, I'm gonna crack you up. But as a Virgo, right? I have Sagittarius grandfather, cousin, friends. I would sit back and watch them tell their stories, and I think sometimes because of the Jupiter, they're so expansive. They just want
Yes.
to, tell the story. But I'm sitting there, the Virgo, the Mercury, right? I know the details, and I'm like, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. But I just
Right,
let them
right.
go in the flow. But in my
They're
mind, I'm like,
embellishing, right?
yeah, I'm like, they're embellishing. That's a little bit of lie. That's funny, but that's not true. You know what I mean? So it's
I
just,
know that Mercury pointed all that out.
oh yeah, it's a very different energy. But I love, and you'll see this, you guys, and it's no shade. It's just funny because my
Yeah.
wife's a Pisces and a Sag moon. She's like a very Jupiterian. Pisces, Sag people, they can exaggerate, and it's because they are looking at the big picture for the feeling of it.
Yes.
Pisces is the emotional feeling. Sag
Yes.
is the fiery, passionate feeling. And then the Gemini and Virgos are like, no, that's not what happened. No,
Right.
no, no. You know?
And oftentimes that energy you're talking about, they do good impressions of people.
Yes.
Like
Oh, my
they can,
grandfather
yes.
nailed every character. That's where
Yes.
I got it from him, because I do sketch comedy.
They do very good impressions of people.
Oh, he was the best.
I'm telling you. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
So,
So
culture, you
okay, let's
funny girl.
so let's get on with it. I think it's going well.
Yep.
Hold on, I don't want to skip anybody. So next it's White Island Surf I9.
Oh, okay.
White Island Surf I9. And this person is born on July 21st. That means that they have a personal year factor just like me of 28-1. So you're always one cycle ahead of the universal cycle. So that means just like myself, Big E, and his beautiful wife Alana, you are in a one personal year this year.
And I think
You
they're 29 degrees Cancer, probably.
Yeah, they are because they're right on the cusp.
Yeah.
But they are Cancer. They're a Cancer 3 person, so they're a water sign with a fire number. So very sensitive and emotional, but very ambitious
Yeah.
and creative,
Yeah.
and a mover and a doer. Those
Yeah.
number threes, movers and doers. Um, and so again, she's going into that 1 year. So make sure you're planting your seeds, getting your ideas off the ground, starting that business, starting that, idea, whatever it is. Start your routine on something that you want to cultivate over the next 8 years because you're starting your cycle. Okay. And your key numbers, hold on, you're the 721. Let me give you your key numbers. Your key numbers are always going to be the 3, the 2, and the 7. And that means your key days are always going to be on Thursdays and Mondays.
Did you give Stoke Culture their key numbers?
Did
I may,
I'll give them to her now. I
yeah,
may
because I
not
may have
have.
interrupted you, and I'm sorry about that Stoic culture.
That's okay. And I get sidetracked, so I
Yeah, I just
probably
realized. I think
no, that's okay. So Stoke culture, you were 1125. So your key numbers are always going to be the 7, 2, and 3. So just the opposite of the other person, your key days are always going to be that Monday and that Thursday. Okay.
wow. And
Okay.
Thursday's the Jupiter day, so that goes with the Sagittarius. That's funny.
Yeah, that and this is why it correlates. This is why we can look at the numbers and look at and we can have astronumerology because it's going to correlate on certain instances,
Yeah,
so the planets are ruled by numbers, they
yeah,
have a number that rules them, so that never changes. So when you
love
look
it.
at these things, that's why it's important to study it and look at the patterns, because you can see these patterns, just like the personal year factor, those patterns do not change.
Wow.
Once you're in your pattern, you're in your pattern, so it's best that you get to learn your pattern so you can master it and become the master of your own fate, so to speak.
Amen. I love it.
Okay, so the mommiest or the
The Mama
mammiest,
Mist. Yeah, she's
the
a
mama
regular.
mist. Oh, I
Very
love
big.
that. The mama mist.
Yeah, she's an Aquarius.
Yeah, she's an Aquarius 6 person. So this is very, very, very interesting. Um, so this person, let me see what her personal year factor real quick is. Her personal year factor is an 8. So that is the cosmic power cycle. Okay. You're always 8 cycles ahead. All right. So right now you're in an 8 personal year. This is a very key year for you as an 8 personal year. I call 8 personal years the bounce back year
Ooh,
because you just went through 2 out cycles. You went through your personal year 6 cycle, which is an out cycle dealing with home and family responsibility and duty and adjustments. Then you just went through a 7 personal cycle, which deals with introspective, sabbatical, and kind of taking leave for yourself. 8 is your bounce back cycle, baby. And that's what I call it's your bounce back. It's your harvest, it's your financial cycle, it's your money cycle, it's the work that you've been putting in from 1 to 7. You're reaping that harvest in 8.
go
Now, if
ahead,
you
Mom.
didn't put now, if you didn't put no work in 1 through 7, your 8 could be a little tumultuous. So it's all about the work you put in
I
and
know
the
she's
day.
been putting in work. She's super
Yeah,
creative. She's
good,
talented. She does comedy and so much more. She does
good.
readings. Yeah, she's deep.
And that 6 number, yeah, because sixers are good with that
Is
business. They
that
have a good
six a
business.
water number?
No, it's an earth number.
Oh,
So
Earth
her
number.
astro,
Okay, yes.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
so her astronumeric descriptor is a air sign with an earth number. So
Mm,
that makes her a logical thinking, um, steadfast pragmatist, very
okay.
grounded, but a thinker, always thinking and thinking methodically at that. And her key numbers are going to be the 6, 2, and 7. So her key days are going to be Fridays and Mondays in that order.
Okay. Moon Venus days. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Peace and love to Teresa Miller. She's in the audience. She's a
Yes. Hey,
regular
Teresa Miller.
peace queen to you. Bright blessings and everything. Awesome, Eric Queen Bee. Awesome to have you here. We're honored and we're a privilege to have you here, Teresa. Um, so let's go ahead with the next person. Black Coffee is here's another Aquarius.
Mm,
This is an Aquarius 8 person. This person's also a personal year factor 1, just like we are. So they're also in a 1 personal year. So make sure you're planting your seeds, putting yourself first. One's also a career cycle. So you might be getting a raise or a promotion, or this is a good year to ask for that raise or promotion. Um, Being born on the 8th of the month, your key dates, your key numbers, and your personal universal code for Aquarius are going to be the 8, 4, and 1. Okay, so that means your key days are always going to be on Saturday and Sunday in that order. All
can I
right.
ask you a question about her and Mama
Yep.
Miss with the Aquarius? When you have a client and you know they're an Aquarius, and even based on your numbers, do you add that astro part where they're dealing with the Pluto energy until 2044 in terms of like their own personal transformations and doing introspection and shadow work and things like that?
Yeah, so we do, depending on what service you get.
Okay. Okay. So you have different
Because a
services.
lot of times, Big E, and I'm sure that you have come across this in your work and your
Yeah.
study. When you're doing readings, sometimes, this work that we do is a lot.
Yes.
And it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to soak in and to hear for the first time. So often when I'm doing like first readings, I don't like to do like a full blown thing.
Okay.
I did that, like I've done it a couple times, but
But
I've
then it's
noticed.
like they don't receive it as well because it's just too
Yeah, and
much.
then they and not that I have a problem with the questions because I love first of all, I love answering questions. I
Yeah.
like researching. So I love when people have the questions, but I often notice when I'm doing a whole big thing, there's a lot of questions that come along because it's so much information to intake. So a lot of this with astro numerology, especially, I like to go in sections almost,
Okay.
like get your main keys and the main things that you can start doing and start tuning into to get tuned into your frequency. Because
Yes.
there's steps to this. You can't just jump off the cliff and now you know everything. You
And this is great for you guys to understand, right? You're right. There is about a integration period once you receive new information and new knowledge. Then you need
right.
to bring it to the wisdom and understanding.
Yeah. And once you start tuning into these frequencies and tuning into your energy, it takes about a month or two before you'll actually start to notice physically, you'll start physically noticing the differences and you'll start noticing the energy. And you just wake up feeling good on those good star days. You're gonna wake up like, oh man, I feel so good. Then you're gonna look at the calendar like, that's why I feel good. It's my day. It's like my birthday. So this is important for us to understand our energy. And me being a cultural preservationist, Big E, is important for me because this is what's helping me catapult my BTV platform to the next level
Yeah.
with, I hit him with educationally, so mentally, we got the bars and the lyrics and all that. Now we're coming in spiritually to come get the family on a spiritual level and raise their spiritual vibration and get them back in tune with our original scientists and reprogram them to
Yes.
have their outlook with this information, right?
Yes, because we got
And
to get
then,
out of the subconscious programming, you guys. We have
yes,
been lied to every step of the way, and that's what Pluto Capricorn has revealed to us. And so now with Pluto and Aquarius, we need to get the spiritual awakening and revelation to only exist in truth and to transmute out and cut off all the lies and deception.
right. Absolutely, Big E. Absolutely. So how much time do we have? Should I do more
Girl,
readings
keep
or
going. Let's go.
keep going? Let's
I
keep
feel
going.
good. As long as you feel
Okay.
good, I feel good. The
I
people are
feel
here.
good. I feel great. All right.
Yep.
So let's get to Quintella Understanding.
Oh yes, Quintella is that's my homie right there.
That's your homegirl. That's a regular piece to
She
you. Queens up to you.
yeah.
Quintella, your birthday is January 31st. Another Aquarius. And you know
Can I
what's so
tell you
funny?
I
I'm a
collect
Leo. I'm attracting this Aquarius energy right now. I'm
yes,
attracting my
and I
opposite.
collect Aquarius and Aquarius moons, that coffee talk. I love the Aquarius energy. And I think
Yes.
honestly for me, right, I've got that 4 number in my stuff, but I also have the 11th house stellium in Virgo. So I'm very
Oh
connected
wow.
to the Aquarius energy.
Yes, the Aquarius energy. I love it. I love Uranus is one of my favorite planets.
Yes, yes.
I love that, I love that planet. I love Aquarius. Also have Aquarius energy in my chart because I'm a Leo. And the one and the four are connected in astro-numerology. They're
Yeah.
connected with each other. They don't come separate. So it's 1 4 4 1, and that's the sun and Uranus. So
Yeah.
that's that Aquarian energy. So Miss Understanding is January again 31st. So she is a personal year factor 5. So
Hmm.
I love the personal year factor 5. I call these people the cosmic shifters because they're here to bring dramatic change and to adapt themselves to dramatic changes along their life path.
Yeah.
Right. So these
Five's
people,
all about change, right?
yeah, all about change, all about
Creativity.
pivoting, creativity, public, dealing with the public, popularity, all of that. Writing, speech, everything mercurial too that has to do with
Yeah.
Mercury is going to be coming and have to do with that 5 energy. So for you, again, you're in a 5 personal year. That means whatever you did in 1 through 4, if you don't like it, this is your chance to change it. Understanding. So
Mm.
look inside yourself, and if you don't like the way things are going, this is your big chance to make your changes before you get to next year where you're going to have to make adjustments for whatever decisions you made this cycle this year. You're going
Ah,
to have to make adjustments for that next year. So make sure you make the right decision. Um, Look inside yourself. You are a air sign with an air number, so that also tells me that you're in your head a lot. Oftentimes with an astronumeric descriptor, what I call this is I call it and the intensified. So for you, this is intensified mental activity. So you're an overthinker.
I was gonna say
Um,
overthinker, right?
she's
Yeah.
an overthinker. She's very intellectual, very
Very smart.
logical, methodical thinker, but she's an overthinker.
Yeah.
And with the air, you can't unlock it. It can't balance itself. It can't transmute. It can only intensify. So I need you, my dear, to get grounded. You need to
Yeah.
go outside and get grounded on the earth. You need the fire gaze. You need to sit in saunas. You need
That's
to
what
add heat to
I
your
yeah,
air.
I told her in her reading she needs to
Yeah,
definitely
she's
connect to
gotta add
nature. Yeah.
fire. So I tell people fire gaze, do sunbathing, do saunas, hot tubs, even sit in a hot bathtub and soak. Incorporate some fire energy into yourself so you can turn all of those overthinking thoughts into passion and proactive action.
Wow, I
Okay.
love that.
So yes, ma'am. And then I give her her keys. So her key numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. And that means your key days are always going to be a Sunday and a Wednesday. So make sure you're doing all of your great things on days that add up to a 4, 1, or 5, and or on Sundays and Wednesdays, ma'am.
All right,
Okay.
Quintella.
How we doing, Big A?
Oh, we're doing great.
We doing great?
Yeah.
All right. So let's get so the next person, Mark Matthews.
Oh yes, Mark Matthews is the regular. He's
You know Mark?
yeah.
So he says, peace, Big E, and numerologics, peace and love, kings up to you, king. And
Uh,
by the way, before I do him, let me tell the audience,
yes.
queens up and kings up, that simply means queens understand their power and their position and their potential.
Yeah.
Kings understand their power, potential, and position. And when you understand those things and you understand your dynamic and your energy, within yourself, within your family. This is how we create a better community and a better outlook with the dynamic of the way we interact with each other. Kings and queens up always go by royalty rules, which are respect, understanding, love, respect, understanding, love, and power and support. Those are the rules.
Love
Those are
that.
royalty
And we
rules
need to
that
lift each
kings
other up, right?
and queens up. So,
The
yep,
divine
kings and queens
feminine and
up.
the sacred masculine, it's important. We gotta be I don't
That's
like
right.
these gender wars that they try to
No,
manufacture. It's fugazi.
because we need both
We
energies. How do
need
we
both
think we got here?
yeah. We
Right?
need both energies.
We
Amen.
need both energies. So Mark Matthews is born on August 12th. He's a Leo, of course. So he's a
Uh,
Leo 3, and I love that because he's a fire sign with a fire number. So again, that's a double astro-numeric descriptor. They
okay.
can't unlock, balance, or transmute. They can only intensify. So that fire, we're going to need you to ground a little bit. So get grounded. Get a journal so you can start writing some of your
Yeah, he
things
probably needs
that
like a water feature to get a little bit
yeah,
more introspective
he
and
does.
tap into his intuitive side and even, the crystals and Epsom salt baths will be good.
They are good. And what I tell people, Big E, is get you a like whatever room, try to get yourself a private room. And what I do for myself and what I tell all my clients, and depending on what their astronumeric descriptor is. But of
Okay.
course, when you want to take yourself to the next level, you got to balance all of the elements within you so you can
Amen.
rise to that level. So what I say is get a room, get all of the elements together. So get you some candles, a little water fountain thingy that they have now. You can use that, a
Yep.
plant, some crystals, some incense, or a feather. Put all of those things in a room with you. Get your journal in there, and you go in that room for 20 minutes a day and do what you got to do and light all of your stuff up so it's active and you have all the elements working for you.
I love that. Yeah.
You know, and that's part of what I tell people to do. And I
Good.
also give them specific things to do for their specific energy
Right.
that
Yeah.
they can use
Yeah.
to
And that's
balance.
what I do with the birth chart too. Exactly.
Yeah, to get unstuck. And I do that elementally. I do that through elementally, numerically, and tidally. So
Yeah.
your tides with
That's
your
great.
personal year, we do it with your elements, and then we do it with your numbers.
So
So we
what are
balance everything.
Mark's key days and months and all that, whatever it is?
Oh yeah, so let me get back to Mark. I'm sorry. What was his birthday again? Look, I
He was August, I think it was August
oh,
12th.
yeah, August 12th. August 12th. So his key numbers are always going to be the 3, 1, and 4. So his key days are Thursday, Jupiter Day, and Sunday. And August 12th, he is that's at equals a 2. So his personal year factor is a 20/2. So he's in a 2 personal year. So things probably are kind of moving slow for him this year. And especially since he's a fire sign, fire number. because that's that passionate, proactive, ambitious doing,
It
forceful,
doesn't hurt them
direct.
to slow down every once in a while. It's
Yeah, it won't hurt you, Mark. It's okay. Slow
okay,
down
brother.
this year.
But you know what? I'll just say this. I think a little dose of introspection is very beneficial for the Leos because
Yes.
one thing that Leos do, they can burn themselves to exhaustion. And
Yes.
so I think when you have a little time to pause and look within, you can make some deep, profound adjustments and changes that will only enhance your light, your power source, and creativity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And being a water number with a fire sign and being a Leo, I can't agree with that more because I get my best inspiration by being in tubs. Like I do that, I put the, like you said, some Epsom salt. I do essential oils in
Yeah.
there. I have a candle lit there,
Yep.
so definitely the introspective is very important for the Leos. All
I
right.
love that.
So Abdul Ruiz is 1129. This is a Sagittarius master number 11 person. Their key days are always the 2, 7, 3, and 11. That's going
I
to be
got
a
a buddy
key.
with that birthday, 11/29. Okay.
Yeah, 1129. So this person is a fire sign with a water number. So again, we're just talking about that fire and that water. Those are transmutable. That's that steam. They're unlockable with balance. So you want to make sure that you're incorporating all physical activity for your fire sign. And again, with the water, bathing, swimming, being introspective, going by a waterfall, putting your feet in the water, different things like that. And journaling for both of those will really, really unlock everything for you. Your personal year factor is a 5. So you are in a 5 personal year. So again, you're at a pivot point. So if you don't like how things are going, this is your big chance to change them. You're probably a little popular this year. This is a travel cycle, so maybe doing some short trips, different things like that. But make sure that you make the correct decisions this year because you will need to make adjustments for them next year when you reach to your 6th personal year.
And what are his Abdul? What are his days?
And his days are the Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. And
Ah,
he gets that Sunday because he's a master number 11. So he
wow.
gets that
Okay.
Sunday
A lot
credit.
of people connect with the Sunday with me, so yeah, I'm just noticing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
then we
that is
did
the
do that for.
solar day. Sunday is the day of the sun, so that's
Yeah. It makes sense, right?
yeah. Well, it's so funny. That's why the NFL plays football games on Sunday. I tell
Yes.
people the Saturn is the day of the spiritual discipline and the true Sabbath. Sunday is the day of vitality, right?
Yes.
Your expression.
Yes.
So it's really
So that's
Sunday.
a part of the reprogramming that you and I are doing with people to
Yes.
reprogram that thought, right?
Because when we work with the days of the planet, I tell everybody, right? If you guys want to know the best days to work out, it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. If you want to add
Mhm.
2 more days, it's Wednesday and Sunday. Never work out on a Monday. That's the moon day. That's the day of
Yeah.
introspection. Never work out on a Venus. That's the day of Friday, arts, culture, entertainment. That's the day you can eat your chocolate, your sweets, get the dark chocolate.
Yes.
It's Venus. It's payday. It's movie. Everything. So Tuesday is Mars, right? Upper body,
Physical.
bench
Yeah.
press,
Yeah.
bicep, tricep, right? Push ups. Thursday, Jupiter, hips and thighs, squats, hiking, leg press, all those things.
I love this.
Saturday, Saturn, people don't know it's your bones, your lineage, but it's also
Yes.
machines. So you could do the full
Yes.
body workout on Saturday and anything to strengthen your bones. So a lot of squatting too. Wednesday, you can honestly do, to be honest with you, Queen Bee, Wednesday is a day for deep breath work, stretching, yoga, and maybe even a little
Hmm.
jog or walk. And then if you wanted to add the Sunday vitality, do stuff where you're outside in nature. Like
Hmm.
because the sun is so healing. Don't listen to these people and don't put those chemicals on your skin. If you
Right.
do sun gazing at sunrise and sunset, you'll never get a sunburn. Even for my European brothers and sisters, do not put those chemicals, they're toxin on your body. The
Right.
sunscreen, that's what gives you the cancer.
We're more toxic than the sun rays.
Yeah, the sun is what's healing.
Yeah.
We are batteries, so we recharge our battery out in the sun and get the
Yep.
solar food. Eat more fruits and veggies. Come
And
on,
that's why
y'all.
you have to ground too, because when
Yeah.
you
Oh, yeah.
ground, you get the
Always
negative
connect to
ions
Gaia,
from the
Mother
earth.
Earth, and the trees and nature. Amen.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Who's next?
Absolutely. Who's that? Okay, so let me read this from Teresa Miller because she is our girl. Queen Bee did my keys chart on over the weekend reading, and I did a live video with her. It was recorded, and she sent a link so I could save it and watch it later. Yes,
Oh
that is how I
wow.
do my
Well, what?
readings.
Tell me what's her numbers? I haven't worked. Teresa is a new like loyal, but I haven't met her yet. I'm going to be meeting her soon. She was, it was my fault. I messed up. She's supposed to come to coffee talk, but I want to know what's her numbers and
So
stuff.
she's born on, if she doesn't mind me telling, I'm sure she doesn't. She's November 13th. She's a Scorpio 4 person. So she's a
Oh,
water sign with an air number.
okay.
So she's very emotional, sensitive, receptive, very
She's deep.
logical, methodical, organized thinker.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, very
Wait.
deep.
I'm gonna tell the secrets about you, Teresa. And I haven't even seen your chart yet. But the Scorpio women. Okay, Leo women are like the queens, right? They're very queeny. But Scorpio women's are queeny too. Fellas cannot mac and go up to a Scorpio lady. Scorpio women, they choose their man.
Mm.
And let me tell you something, Scorpio women, they're tough cookies, but when they are really smitten and are into a guy, they become little girlies, like all sweet and giggly. And like you'll be sitting there looking like, wait a minute, you were just that serious tough chick. But if they've got a crush on a dude, oh my God,
Oh, that goes right out the window.
they get in their divine feminine and they're like, oh my God, you're so funny. And you're like, what? Yo,
I'm
Scorpio
laughing because
women
I've
are
seen this
deep.
in action before.
Huh?
I've seen that in action before with
Yes, Scorpio
Scorpio.
women are they are so deep. It is, yeah, it's
They
true.
are.
I know, Teresa. I want to see the smiles and the laughter because I know that's the truth with y'all ladies.
So she was excellent, and she said it was beyond amazing, inspiring, and so much more. I'm thankful and highly recommend that you make an appointment with Queen Bee. Thank you, Teresa.
Oh
I
yes, you
appreciate you.
guys. Queen Bee. Yeah, listen. Yeah, I'm telling you, you're gonna see her quite often on this channel.
Thank you. Ahmad said, Queen Bee, thank you for this. I think we did a reading for him. Okay,
Yeah.
so the next birthday I'm coming up to is Nicholas Noel.
Oh, they're
They
new. I don't know Nicholas Noel. Welcome to the channel. Hey, new people, hit the like, smash the like button, and make sure you guys subscribe, please. And go follow Queen Bee on the what is it, Taylor B
at
Media,
Taylor B TV and also
Taylor
at
B TV, and
Numerologists.
Numerologists. Go
Yep.
follow you guys. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys. So where was Nicholas at? Nicholas Noel is October 10th. This is a Libra. This is a Libra one person. Um, and they are in a, let me see, you're an 11 personal year right now,
So is that
Noel.
an air sign and fire number?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is an air sign. I'm sorry. So this is an air sign with a fire number. So this is a logical, thinking, passionate, proactive, ambitious doer. Nicholas is. His key numbers are always going to be the 1, 4, and 9. Okay. His key days are always going to be on Sunday and Tuesday.
Ah.
Um, and for Nicholas, like I said, he's in an 11 personal year. So he's probably maybe be getting spiritual downloads. You may be feeling like your mission or your purpose are becoming more aware to you than they may have been in years past. Anything that you get in this year is meant for immediate use. So I would tell you to have at it this year and be ambitious because those 2 1s and that 11 does actually represent Leo. So it's very ambitious energy. So it's more ambitious than
Wow.
just that too.
Wait.
Yep.
I want to make Nicholas laugh. I know there's something about the Libra fellas that he's in that second deacon. So that's the Libra Aquarius deacon. He's definitely innovative and a vanguard, and he's probably a fashionista. Libra men could be very stylish, but we used to joke, one of my Libra buddies in college, and maybe he don't do this now, but maybe when he was younger, Libra guys sometimes they're the type of men they will literally iron their socks, their boxers, and their undershirts. And I used to tell my boy, like, man, what you doing? Ain't nobody gonna see that stuff. Let's go. You know, he's holding us up when we going out to the club at a party in college. But
Yeah.
Libra men, they're sharp, and I know he's mentally he's a great listener and he's super intelligent.
They're very thoughtful, very smart, good looking fellas, usually very handsome men, the Libras. So yeah, I'm sure he has a lot going for him with that number 1 as his individual
Yeah,
frequency.
yeah,
Very creative and ambitious and outgoing
yeah.
energy that I'm sure
Salute,
that he
Nicholas.
has.
Salute.
Yeah, salute to you, King.
Yeah.
Salute, King's up to you. Okay. Stephen Jupiterian. Hi,
Ah,
Jupiterian.
Stephen Jupiterian, where you been, stranger? Welcome back, man.
Welcome back, Stephen. Stephen is born on March 2nd. He's a Pisces 2 person. He's a
Yeah.
water sign with a water number. So this is going to be that intensified emotional feeling. So that
He's very
astronumeric,
intuitive and he's a Sag rising.
yeah. So his astronumeric descriptor for that 2 is going to be sensitive, emotional, receptive, intuitive analyzer.
Yeah.
That's his description. Um, so Stephen, with you, you're very understanding. You use a lot of tact. You're in a 5 personal year. Your personal year factor is a 5. So make sure that you're evaluating everything and you're making dramatic changes. Have fun this year. This is a year to party and have fun and travel. Interact with your friends, deal with the public, get into the stock exchange, get that Bitcoin, whatever you're into.
No,
Um,
no, XRP. You don't want the Bitcoin.
Listen, I shouldn't even be saying it because I don't know anything about
No,
Bitcoin.
I know,
But
but
I'm just trying to be hip and tell people the new
I
thing
know,
to get
right? I know.
into.
I tell people
Crypto. I'll
too.
say
I
crypto.
know enough to be dangerous, but I do know enough to tell you don't mess with the Bitcoin. But I will tell you,
Right.
they remember Apple did a deal with Ripple, and the mechanism of exchanging money is going to be through XRP, XLM, and
Okay.
the ripples. So that's why I say that's going to wind up being, and
XLP.
so yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not an expert on that, but
I'm not an expert either, so do it
it's a
with.
good time for speculation in a 5
Oh
personal
yeah.
year. I'll say it that way. So whatever you like to speculate with, go have
Hey,
at
he
it.
could get a lottery scratch off and may win something.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good time for it. And your key numbers are always the 2, 7, and the 3. So when you go buy that scratch off, do it on your 3 day on your Thursday because that's Jupiter and that'll give you luck and
Ah,
expansion. So
okay,
use your Thursday and your 3 for when you want to go be speculative this year in your
that's
5
smart.
personal year. Okay. And your key days are always the Monday and the Thursday.
Wow.
Um, all right.
All
So
right.
let's
Let's see.
see. Oh, so let me get it for him because Steven, he's your boy. So let me do this for him real quick.
Okay.
He's saying that he doesn't know his life path, so I'm going to give it to him real quick.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, I gotta add his thing up. Hold on, one
Okay.
second. 3, 2 plus 1970. You, Steven, are a life path 22.
Ooh,
Mastery,
master number.
master number 22. So you are here still to live as that 4, to be practical, organized, and structured, but you're still here to do that on a humanitarian level for humanity. You're here to build for humanity, build things that are above yourself, that will last and stand the test of time. That's a
Wow.
mastery level. That's what you're here to do with those double 2s in that 22. It does denote some sensitivity, so don't be too overly sensitive about your ideas. Don't be antisocial in the way that you approach things. And I think you'll do fine, Master number 22.
Yeah, he's really good with the tarot cards.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see. So Shunda Reed, she has the same birthday as your dad. So that's March
Oh.
25th.
Hey,
So
Shunda
we'll
Reed. I never met you. Nice. Welcome to the channel. And you're dear to my heart already. You got my dad's birthday. So
Big E, you're so crazy. So this person is a Aries 7. So this is a fire sign with a water number. Again, very transmutable, with balance. That fire sign water number, passionate, proactive, intuitive, analytical, receptive, um, analyzer. That's your astronumeric descriptor. And with that 7, again, you're very introspective. Um, don't worry too much. 7s tend to over worry about things that they can't affect, and it really does nothing for you in the long run.
yeah.
Also, with that 7, instead of worrying, turn that into manifestation mantras. Do something that because the 7's the number of the law of attraction. So 7 people
Ooh.
naturally attract what they want, but you have to manifest on purpose.
And you got to be
Like, like,
optimistic
yeah.
and faith over fear. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to manifest on purpose, like Miss Kimberly show. So
Yes,
you got to
Kimberly. Yeah,
manifest
she
on
was on
purpose.
a couple of weeks ago. Kimberly,
Yeah,
I love her.
and it's true. You really do have to do that, especially as a number 7 person, because you're literally attracting things to you, literally, like you. So you
So is that
definitely want
pretty much for
to.
everybody born on the 25th?
And everybody born on the day that adds up to a 7.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because
So the
7's the law of
7th,
attraction.
the
Yeah.
16th, and the 25th.
Yeah, so that's the 7th, the 16th, and the 25th of the month.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for this person, so your key numbers are going to be the 7, 2, and 3. Um, Nope, you're going to be the 7, 2, and 6. I'm sorry, excuse
Okay.
me. Your key numbers are the 7, 2, and 6. That means your key days are always going to be a Monday and a Friday. Okay. And with that March 25th, you're a personal year factor 28-1, just like me and Big E. So you're in a one personal year. So make sure you're planting your seeds accordingly this year. Okay.
Mm.
Step out on faith, get a new promotion, step out, go open your own business, start that new
And
project.
listen, dream big. You're in Aries. Neptune's in Aries. Now it's
Yeah,
there
there you
until the
go.
22nd, but remember, it goes back in February of 2026. So listen, dream it, make it happen.
That's right. And listen, you got to make it happen anyway. And if you're
Yes,
born on that
yeah, it's on
7,
you to
you
make it
can
happen. That's right.
manifest. You're here to manifest what you want anyway. I mean,
That's
that's
right.
literally, so make sure you tap into the energy. I mean, this is literally what you're here for. So, all right. So let's see. We'll take a couple more, I guess. Yogeni Star. Is this one of your regulars?
No, I never met them. Welcome, Yogani Stars. Thank
Peace
you.
and love to you, Yogeni Star.
Welcome.
So this person is born on December 14th.
Ooh, the
They're
Sag.
they're Sagittarius 5. So that's a fire sign with air number, a very favorable combination. Your personal year factor is a 26-8. That tells me you're in 8 personal year. So congratulations to you for making it to your bounce back year. Hopefully you're harvesting all of the great work that you put in 1 through 7. Hopefully you're reaping the benefits of those rewards. Career wise, this is a good time for recognition, to get promotions for positions of achievement in the 8 factor year. Also, a good time for finance and romance. So,
And they're the Sag Leo Deacon, so they are very creative and live by
mhm,
their heart. Just so you guys know, Sag and then Virgo, the two bachelorette signs, and you're dealing with these squares from Saturn in the North Node. So remember, squares are opportunity for growth. So use your sort of passion and energy to install some new disciplines in your life so you can kind of move and grow to a new direction. Okay.
cool, cool. And then her key numbers are the 5, 6, and 3. And that
Five,
tells
six, and
me,
three. Okay.
yep, the 5, 6, and 3 for December 14th. That's a 5, 6, and 3. And that tells me that your key, actually, let's give you the 5, 3, and 6. Let's put the 3 first. No, we'll put the 6 first. We'll put the 6
Does
first. So
that
that means
matter when you
yeah,
say
it
that?
does matter. It does matter. So the
Okay, because
reason
you have
why,
me with
and
the one,
let's
four, and
let's break
five.
this one down. Let me break this one down for you.
Okay.
Okay, because this is a tough one. So
Okay.
she's born on December 14th. Okay. So she's a 5 person. Her individual frequency is a 5. So when
Now,
I
honey,
give you
this is
your,
what's her name? This is definitely a woman, right?
yeah, this is a woman. Yogeni Star. It looks like a woman.
Okay. Okay. So if she's a five person, then she's probably fairly attractive woman because fives
So
are,
I was gonna say 5 is this fundamental sex number.
yes, they're very attractive,
So
right?
fives are very attractive. They're also, very free spirited. They have good favor and interaction with the opposite sex.
Hmm.
Um, so all of those things with her 5. Now, the reason that I gave her a 6 as her second number is because her second number actually would be a 3 because she's a Sagittarius. And
Mm,
Sagittarius is the period of the 3. It's the positive period of the 3.
yeah.
So that's how we determine your keys. However, the reason that the 6 has to come in between is because 5 and 3 they can be kind of opposition to each other. But
Okay.
it doesn't mean they can't be still someone's key numbers,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
the way that we balance that out is we slip the middle number in there, so to separate the 5 and the 3 so they're not like that. So the 5, 6, and 3 would be the key numbers for her. Her key days will always be a Wednesday, Friday, and a Thursday in that order.
Ooh.
Okay. And as a 5 person, I'll give her a bonus. Her key colors are always going to be whites or light grays or glistening materials, like the iridescent colors or like
Okay.
glistening materials are the colors for the number 5. And also for the number 5, the diamond, the regular diamond is the stone, the crystal to wear close to your skin.
Wow, look at
Okay.
that. You
Yeah.
got a little
She got
extra.
a little extra.
She got a
She
little
got a
extra.
little.
I love
Look,
it.
ask Teresa. She knows I like throwing in little bonuses. You come to me, you get bonuses.
You know what's so funny? Is that our 9 and thing? 'Cause I'm
Yes,
the same way.
because we're universal.
Yeah, I don't know how to give someone less. You look
Right.
at me, I gotta give you a little extra so that way when you leave, you can only think about Biggie Astrology and Eric Taylor with a smile, and you're like, "Nah, I love Biggie." You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yes,
who I am, and I guess that's that humanitarian energy that we have, you know?
it is. And it's also it's the humanitarian and it's the being universal. Like you want to spread the knowledge.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
this podcast is called Knowledge is Love.
for a reason.
You know. Yeah, like you and like my whole platform is spreading knowledge.
Yeah.
So we want to spread that knowledge. We don't
And that's our
care.
calling, so it's like it's
Yeah.
kind of like it's like food and water for us. We have to do it,
Yes.
right? Okay. So
We
how do I
have to do it.
we're gonna end with like, maybe 2 more people because I don't want to keep you forever. But real quick, I just
Oh,
want to ask you about my dear mama. She just celebrated her birthday, April 21st. She was 1941, but I want to, break down her numbers for me and stuff.
let me break down her numbers. So first of all, April 21st, she's a Taurus,
Yep,
number 3.
yep.
So just like you, she's a earth sign with a fire number.
Mm,
Mommy is steadfast, practical, grounded, passionate, proactive, direct, ambitious, chafes at restraint. Threes do not like to be restrained in any form or fashion.
you listen. My mother was a tough cookie. Even before she passed away in 2021, when she was in the wheelchair,
God bless her.
like you could not restrain her. Like my mom was,
Yeah,
she was strong like bulls. She's born on that cusp of power. And if anybody
yeah.
knows about the Aries Taurus cusp, they are no joke.
They're
Don't play
no
with them.
joke.
She
And
was she was zero
she
degrees
probably
Taurus.
talked a lot. She had a voice.
Well, she was the school teacher. My mother taught
Yeah.
in Harlem. She taught second grade for 2 years, and then she taught fifth grade in Harlem on 123rd in Amsterdam
Wow.
for PS 125. She taught for like 30, I think it was total 35, 37 years.
And what did I tell you when we first started about her astronumeric descriptor, about that descriptor, that earth sign with the fire number, that stable, passionate discipline.
Oh, she didn't miss no days of work.
When they find their niche,
Yep.
baby, they rise to the top
Yeah.
and they are stable and they're passionate and they're going to continue to do. They're doers. They're going to rise to every occasion. With that number 3, she's was talkative, popular.
Yeah.
Couldn't go anywhere without people not recognizing
Oh,
her.
everybody.
If
Yeah.
you tell her she can't do something, she'll go above and beyond to show that she can do it. So that's her. That was
She was
mommy's energy.
valedictorian. She was a
Yeah.
fashionista, a trailblazer.
Hmm.
Yeah. My mom
That
was
was
no
mommy's
joke.
energy. And then so then her key days would have her key numbers would have then been she's an Aries, right? So 3, 9, and
No,
6. So
Taurus, Taurus.
she's got the art Taurus. So it's still 3, 6, and 9. So she's got the artistic trio. So
Mhm.
her key days would have been Thursdays, Fridays, and Tuesdays.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that doesn't surprise me because that must be where you get a lot from your mom. Your soul urge in Chaldean is the 3, 6, and 9. Eric is the 3, William is the 6, Taylor is a 9.
Wow.
All 3 together, 18, 9 is your soul urge. So you got your mom's astronumeric energy, you got her artistic trio through your soul urge. So you have a lot of her energy running through you.
Wow. Yeah. Somebody had told me, I met with a psychic one time that told me that my mother and I were siblings in a past life. And that really resonated with me. I could totally see that.
Mhm.
because we
Yeah.
we had our tough times, but I was a very obedient child, right? I'll tell you guys, if you have Virgo kids are like the easiest kids. Like I didn't break no rules. I was just a good kid. Maybe 2, 3 spankings in my lifetime, but I'm a quick
Mhm.
learner, right? Like, oh, I don't like that, right? So I won't break no rules. I don't like that. So I was a good boy. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
But I earned my freedom because if my mom said be home at 10 or be home at 11, I would be home at that time and then I could earn more freedom. And she just wanted to know where I
Absolutely.
was going. That was it. You know what I mean? Like she was very fair like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I see that. I see that energy in her. And I see that energy through you. So I think that's cool. I love to see what the astronumeric descriptors were of the parents of what child kind of child they made. So your mom was the earth sign fire number. Your
Yeah.
dad was the fire sign water number. And
All
then
right.
your
So
name, and
and I
this is
wait,
so
go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be so geeky right now. So your first name Eric that in Chaldean adds up to that water number, and that tells me that your mother or father was either a Cancer or a Pisces or born on the second days that add up to the second or the seventh, and your dad was born on the seventh.
Yeah, and my mom was a Pisces moon and Pisces rising.
So you see that? So the energy is what it is. The energy, does not lie. Numbers don't lie.
They
And
surely
that's why I
don't.
love numerology.
So wait, I gotta ask you. Okay, but we are gonna end with two more people, but I just gotta ask you real
Okay.
quick.
Okay.
So what about since you're down with the Leo energy, what about the Taylor twins? They're August 14th.
Oh my gosh. So your twins are gonna be studs. First of all, they're both number fives. They're Leo fives. Oh my gosh. First of all, my mother was a Leo five. She was August 5th.
Those
Your
kids, they are bigger than life.
I know. They're bigger than life. They're number five because fives are popular. So I'm sure they're very popular. They're probably athletic. They're probably multifaceted, versatile, adaptable, flexible, multi-talented, multi-dimensional. They probably have a lot of different interests. They're very passionate and proactive. They like their freedom. They're movers. They don't like to stay still.
They don't
They
ever
don't like
stay
to be
still. And
they don't like to be clocked.
we could not childproof the home for them.
Yeah, you can't. Oh no, not for
We
no,
could not.
not for no Leo five. You ain't.
Oh God.
You might, and that's what I say. And then let me just say something that's real important too. So with Numeralytics, guys, one of the services that I provide is natal Numeralytics. So I work with pregnant mothers or
Oh, you
expecting,
help the
or
parents with their kids. That's
yeah, I do readings. So if you're pregnant and you want a couple names you want me to read with the suggested date of birth,
oh,
the
that's
baby comes
really
when it gets ready.
cool. So
But I
even
do
before
natal
they're
Numeralytics.
born.
I do it prenatal or postnatal. So you can come to me before you have the baby or after, and then I can do
Ooh,
the baby's chart. So what this does is it allows you to understand your child's frequency.
that's really important,
Do
you
you know
guys.
how big this is in our community to understand? Okay, my child is not this way. This is just who they are. This is who they
Yes.
naturally are. So let me do things to enhance them this way. Let me
Well,
give them toys to strengthen them to this way.
and that's why I tell people, especially my clients that have kids, get a birth chart reading for your kids because once I understood, because you were talking about flexible and this and that, but the problem is they are Capricorn risings, but the Leo sun, but they have Scorpio moon. So the sun and moon
Mm,
is a fixed energy. So
yes,
they're very stubborn. So,
yes.
it's actually interesting how I've got to like be like, hey, stop, let's kind of recalibrate, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
Alana and I, we're Virgo Pisces, so we're mutable signs. So we're not,
yeah.
we're very like
They're
flexible.
fixed.
So
Yeah,
they're fixed with the Scorpio moon and Leo, and so they're very emotional and intense little humans.
yes. And those Leos can be a lot to handle.
Oh God.
Are they identical twins or
No,
fraternal?
fraternal. So they're very
Okay.
different.
Hmm.
Very different, but
And you know what also matter with them? Their name, because
oh
their
yeah, yeah.
name also. So whatever their names are, but them being twins, that's how I would kind of differentiate them
Exactly,
by
yeah.
their
With the
name
birth
and different
chart, the
things.
only thing is different is the 1 degree on the ascendant,
Hmm.
and so I know that that does make a difference, but
It does.
the
Hmm.
because they're 7 minutes apart, but the name, right? One's Jackson, one's Mateus, so it makes a big difference, you know what I mean?
So
So,
the
okay.
so Jackson's approach is more straightforward and direct. Whereas Mateo is a hard worker, kind of odd and unusual. kind of has their own way to do things. Um, that's his general approach probably because his first name is an M, which is
Yeah.
a 4. So that's that 4 energy. That's that Aquarian energy. So that's his basic approach to life.
Mm.
Whereas Jackson's name, the J is a 1. So with that 1, he's like you, more direct, more direct with the way he approaches things, probably.
Yeah, yeah, no,
More
that's
towards
really
me.
interesting. Okay, so last one real quick for me, and then I want to finish with the people. I got to ask
Okay.
you about my Gemini, May 25th.
May 25th. So I first of all, I love Geminis. Um,
They are a lot to handle, though.
they are. You got to
I
be ready
should.
for
I
them.
listen. I
You
definitely
got to
couldn't
know when
even.
to walk away from them too. You got to sometimes it's.
No, no, that's so funny you say because my wife was like, "I'm walking away from you." That's what she says to the Gemini.
Yeah, you got to.
That's so funny.
Especially your wife. Now wait, what's their birthday, Gemini? What is it
May
again?
25th.
Oh,
And
May
then she's the
25th.
Pisces, he's the Gemini, so that's the square. So, oh my God. And the Virgo,
So
I'm the square. So, like, we're very different, you know? We have
right.
air and fire children. Our oldest is a Virgo, but he's not in the house right now. And so the air and fire is very different from me and Alana, the earth and water. So it's kind of
Yes.
funny.
Yeah, you guys have all of the elements going in your house, which I'm sure gets pretty interesting.
Oh, it
Um,
does.
so the May 25th is a Gemini 7 person. So this person is a thinker, um, a mover. A 7 is their introspective, receptive, intuitive analyzer. Always probably reading and researching and trying to gather information on something, an
When he
authority on
wants to,
something.
very critical sometimes of his parents and his brothers.
Listen, this is the 7 energy, Eric.
And
Sevens are
then the
very
seven is
critical.
it's the air water, right?
So let me tell you about that. So air and water, they are they it takes some balancing to unlock them.
Okay.
It takes some balancing. So I would tell them because your air energy can get stuck, or your water energy can get stuck. And when the seven with that water energy, they get stuck in their emotions and their feelings. They start thinking about the past and worrying about the future, and
Yeah.
they can't do anything about it. And this is why I tell seven, stop worrying. The main thing, I just stop being a critic of everything. Everything doesn't have to be critiqued and analyzed.
Yes.
And even if it does, it doesn't always have to be stated. This is why I would tell a 7 person like is it your son or daughter? I'm sorry. Is it a
No, no, I
girl?
got 4 boys, his son.
4 boys. Okay.
Yeah.
I would tell your son
He's a
that's
William
this type.
too, he's a William.
He's a William. So I would tell God, and his William is the 7 too. So
Yeah.
William is his name William?
William Taylor?
Oh gosh. So he's a 7-7. So he's got all that water energy there with his name and his number. So let me just tell you, sometimes with the sevens, you got to be careful with the sevens because what ends up happening with them is they tend to fail because they have needless worrying. They got negative thoughts, patterns, they got lack of faith. Like they got to stop worrying. They got to try to turn those worries into manifestations because, like I said, they're the law of
Yeah, because
attraction.
and then it's even more intense because he's the Mercury man. The 2 oldest
So
boys are
he's
Mercury.
analytical with it.
Yes, because he's
So
a
he's,
Virgo rising and Gemini
yeah.
sun and moon.
Oh man. So
Super mercurial.
he very much needs to journal. He needs to journal. Like
Okay.
that would be his main thing that I would tell him to do.
Yep.
And then get creative and get physical. He
Well, he
needs to
plays
go out there and
football.
run.
Plays
Yeah.
football now, but his first early years, he brilliant actor.
Hmm.
Gifted. Like he's done commercials and independent film, and like he's a natural, but he doesn't want to do it anymore. And I'm like, you kidding me? It's easy money for you, kid. You
Yeah.
know. So, but
Well, they worry. They tend to worry. So once
yeah.
he gets out of his head and stops overthinking and worrying,
But now the
then
football is like his passion
it's helping.
and lifting those weights. He's all about his body and being strong.
Well, that's good because that's helping him to get out of that state of mind.
Okay, good.
And then keeping sevens, again, sevens need to be the authority on something. So whatever he does get interested in, it's going to be probably it'll end up being something philosophical in nature.
Mm,
Um, you know,
yeah.
along the occultism, maybe when later in his life he might go down that road.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, so he definitely should try to get an authority and get a niche on something. And in the meantime, he should keep himself busy with reading and gathering as much information as he can about as many things as he can.
Okay. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Let's finish with. How about let's do
Okay, let's
two more
finish.
people? I had to chime in with my folks. Sorry, you guys, but two more
That's
people.
okay. Look, family first. I'm just joking.
Amen. Amen.
So two more people for the two person.
And
So
my
that's
audience,
good.
they've seen all my boys on the podcast. I've interviewed
Oh
each one
yeah?
of them in Black History Month, which is really powerful. All four of my sons and my wife were guests for Black History Month, but
Cool.
they've also come and helped me and helped Dad on the podcast. So my audience, my regulars have they've seen my boys. So that's
Cool.
cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so let's get into this last couple people. I'm going to
Okay.
do Black God because their birthday is the same as Kendrick Lamar's. Is
Ooh.
June 17th.
Welcome,
This
Black.
is
They're new. Please come back and I'll break down your big three. But when's their birthday?
June 17th.
Oh,
Um, they're a Gemini 8 person, just like Kendrick Lamar.
yeah.
Their key numbers are the 8, 6, and 5. So that means their key days are always going to be Saturdays, Fridays, and Wednesdays.
Okay.
So with that astronumeric descriptor, they are an air sign with an earth number. And that means they're very logical, thinking in their head. They like to move around a lot, and they're very steadfast and pragmatic. These
And
people
grounded.
can,
Yeah.
yeah, and grounded. And these people, I'm telling you, like we can look at the beef with Kendrick and Drake. Once they get their mind on something, they don't stop. Like
Yeah. No,
they have
Kendrick's
a
a beast. I
they
love.
have a zeal for any cause that they espouse. Number 8 people.
Wow.
So once they get that zeal for something that's in their heart, forget about it. Sometimes they'll often sacrifice themselves
Ooh.
um, for that thing that they love. And I often tell number 8s, don't sacrifice yourself for the thing you love because you got to love you first. Without you,
Amen.
you can't do the thing you love.
Amen.
So that's what I tell number 8s. So his personal year factor is a 23-5, so he's in a 5 personal year. So this is your time, sir, to pivot, Black God, make changes that you want to make. So you're comfortable with everything in the way that the rest of your cycle's going, and you
Yeah.
don't have to make too many adjustments when you get to that 6th year.
And he is the Gemini Aquarius deacon. So he's going to
Hmm.
be very innovative. And until June 8th, he's got Jupiter rocking with him, conjunct his sun.
Hmm.
So hopefully you're writing and creating and you're going to do, really well, from now till June. But just know, like, because you got that Earth, number and the air sign and the air Earth number, like
Hmm.
build for the future. You know what I
Yes,
mean? You should be 3 to
definitely,
5 years ahead of everyone else.
definitely.
Like God. All right. And I love the
Definitely,
name.
and you definitely have the wherewithal to do that with that
Oh yeah.
Mercury, yeah, and that Saturn because Saturn builds. I mean, that 8 is a builder number.
Yeah.
It
No,
constructs things on a level of humanity. So
yeah.
it constructs big buildings and big structures. So definitely,
No,
you're a
he's deep.
builder.
I already know he's deep. So come
Oh,
back,
do
Black
you
God.
know him?
Welcome. Make sure
Okay.
you subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Go follow both
so
of them.
again, in that air, that air and the water, they're transmutable too. So they're pretty favorable. And you can really work with that energy. Okay.
Okay.
So the
Last but
last
not
one,
least. Who's the last
last but
one?
not least, we're gonna do the queen. Queen's up to Gigi the Empress.
Oh,
Um,
Gigi. Yes, she's a regular. Gotta do Gigi.
I do Gigi. I got a bestie named Gigi too, so that's why I
Okay.
said let me do Gigi. So Gigi is a September 28th. This is a Libra 1 person. This is an air
Ooh,
sign with a fire number.
wow.
Um, yeah, right. So this person's just like us. Their personal year factor is a 1, so they're in a 1 personal year. So Gigi, make sure that you're stepping out on your own. You're putting yourself first. You're looking for that raise, that promotion in your career, or you're going to go start your own business or start
Yeah.
writing a book. Do
Yeah.
something to step out on your own that you can cultivate for the next 8 years. Okay.
Mm,
Um, so that's the energy that gives me. Your key numbers are going to be the 1, 4, and 2. That means your key days are always going to be on Sunday and Monday. And again, you're a Libra 1. So that 1, I'll give you just like Eric, your key colors are going to be the yellows, golds, golden browns, and amber, and all those types of colors like that.
wow. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. And Gigi is good people. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
all my people are amazing, and all you new people, I want you to become my people. So keep coming back.
Yes.
Share with everybody again, Miss Queen Bee. Thank you for staying this long and doing this. It
Oh,
was brilliant, and that's all I expect from you. And know that you're going to deliver. And so share. How can people book with you? And I did post on my community page. Let them know because I think you're offering like a discount for everybody that wants to
yes.
tell them that they came. So just share all your information and what they can, do with you and stuff.
So you guys can reach me. Like I said, there's a few ways. You can reach me on my text line. It's a moon. I call it my moon line. My number is ruled by the moon.
All right.
I got the sun and moon numbers. So my moon line is 302-492-7722. You can also email me at info@iamtellerb.com. You can email me there if you want a reading and just say what you want.
Okay.
I normally will only do a keys chart as a first reading because you need your keys, baby. Because if you don't have the keys to your car, you're not going to get very far in the universe.
Amen.
So we got to get you your spiritual keys so you're able to drive and get through your day the right way. And you can do that by visiting numerologics.biz. You can either book through the site or you can go on the site and look around and just text me or email me. You don't have to do it through the site. I'm very approachable and personable. So if you reach out to me, I'm going to be like, yo, King's up to you. What's up? You see me on Big E Show? That's what's up. That's my boy. You
Yeah.
came to the convergence of the Life Path Nines. So welcome. How can Queen Bee help you? Also, please make sure you go subscribe to my YouTube. I'm trying to get my subscribership up.
Yes. You
I'm
guys
at
did.
about 70. I'm trying to get that channel to 100 and so that's at Numeralytics and then my Teller BTV channel. You can also subscribe there. You can get hip hop, cultural reflections, justice on earth, and numbers matter is also on BTV.
Okay.
So subscribe to me there, and that's it. That's how you can reach out to me and follow me on
Tell them
all.
what other socials are you on to follow
Yeah,
you.
all the socials. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, um,
And what's the handle?
at Numeralytics.
Okay.
And it's also at Teller B Media. But once you find me at Numeralytics, or you'll see all my stuff because I do have multiple channels. Because I have a lot of fives in my name, Big E, so I'm very versatile and multifaceted. So I have a lot of things going
I
on.
thought now,
Uh,
but I thought you also were under the I am Taylor B.
I am. That's what I'm saying. So I got my Teller B Media Instagram. I got a I
Oh,
am
okay.
Teller B Instagram, a Numeralytics. So
She
wherever you catch me
I,
at, you got
I
me.
love that though. But wait, I'm gonna make you
Right.
laugh, right?
Can't miss me.
Because I'm sort of the same way, right? So I got the IG and all the business stuff for Big Astrology, but I got an IG. If you guys are into sports, I got E-Rhyme Sports because like I do like
Well, I
little
didn't
sports.
know you had that. I gotta
Yeah,
follow
yeah,
that.
yeah. Check that out, E-Rhyme Sports on IG. And then I also have for the MC, right? E-Complete on IG and also on YouTube. So I'm kind of like, you can't. I guess what it is with us nines, you can't put us in one category or one
Nope.
box. We're
Nope. We
too,
universal.
yes. So it's like boom, boom, bap.
Universal.
Bing,
And
bong, boo.
with the five energy too, because you're a Virgo. So that's also multifaceted. That comes with multi-talented and multi-versatile things that you're interested in that pique your interest. So,
Oh my God! Wait, how could I forget? Please tell them your two books and when they're coming out.
oh yes, yes. Oh, thank you for saying that.
Yes,
Almost forgot I'm writing a book. I'm doing so much, guys. I really am because I'm in a one personal year, so I'm setting my seeds and
I
I'm
know
making
that's
sure that
right.
I'm
Listen,
planting
I'm
the
working on
proper.
two books too, girl. So let's do it.
Yes, yes. So the one book will be out next year. The children's numerology book will be out in 2026.
That
So I'll be
sounds
dropping.
wonderful.
Yeah. And it's going to be very awesome because as you can see, I love bees. Bees are God's messengers.
Yes,
They're the spiritual messengers. So I have a good attachment to bees. So
and
the
high
numerology
vibrational,
book,
right? That B
yeah,
frequency. Yeah.
they hum in the key of C. They hum in the key of C, and they also will buzz in the 528 love frequency.
Yes.
So beekeepers have longer
Longer
lifespans than
lives. Yeah.
others. Also, there's been studies, Big E, where people that have PTSD and different mental disorders are
Mm,
exposed to beehives and the sound, and they have greater results with their PTSD after they're exposed to the bees buzzing. So
wow.
there's a lot of different things with bees. So I'm going to
Yeah.
be doing an Astro-Numerology book for the kids with bees.
I love that.
Also, so that's next year.
Okay.
This year I'm coming out with it's an Astro-Numerology guide. It's gonna the title's a working title,
Okay.
but it's a universal supreme guide to Astro-Numerology. I'll just say that's what it's called right now. But it's going to be a book that it's an intersection of culture and consciousness. So I'm the
Mm,
cultural preservationist, so I'm going to be bringing an element of history and of the culture and of the current state of affairs of our community. I'm going to
mm.
be combining that with the universal laws and with astronumerical, numerological concepts that I'm bringing forth, and some other things that I brought forth, like my royalty rules will be in there, the kings and queens up will be in there.
So
The
when that comes out, you'll have to come back on just for that.
Yes, so that's slated to come out be at the end of this year. It was slated to come out August around my birthday, but I might have to push it back to October.
That's okay.
Because yep, so but it's going to be out this year. So definitely I'll have you updated on that, and I would love to come back to discuss
Well, then we'll
that
see you in September and November. How about that?
yeah, for the draft. I mean, for the football
Yeah, the
season.
NFL, and then we'll see you in
Yeah.
November for the book.
Yes, I love it, Big E. Thank you so much. I'm very humbled and appreciative. Thank you to the audience for tuning in, and I hope the readings resonated with you, and that
Yes,
you
you
learned
guys.
something new today.
Do me a favor, you guys. When we say goodbye in 10 seconds, come back and leave a comment in the comment section. Even if
Yes.
it's just a kings up, queens up, fire, thank you guys, because it helps it grow in the algorithm. And you never know who may be ready to vibrate with this frequency and receive this show. So text it to the cousin, the aunt, the mom, the dad, the sibling, this one. Share this on your Facebook, your ex, whatever, because you don't know when some people hear different frequencies and vibrations of knowledge, they may be just ready, no matter how programmed in the matrix you may think they are. This may be the thing that kind of just shakes the cage to awaken them. So please don't hesitate to come back, comment, please subscribe and share. And I'll be back Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern for episode 333, talking about Mars and Jupiter and Taurus. So happy birthday to all you Tauruses out there. Queen Bee, much love, respect, and thank you. And you guys, this was more than fun. It was an honor and a pleasure. And we definitely shared a lot of knowledge, and knowledge is love.
Knowledge is love, peace
All
and
right.
love, kings and queens up,
Bye,
royalty
you
rule.
guys.